Oh.
It's always best going live when we're talking through our absolute agony of getting our stream working.
And it only ends right at as we finish.
I don't want to be outed for being tech incompetent like this.
Well, you're live.
And it's freaking me out that it's like flipping my face and I'm getting like...
Is it on OBS at the moment? Is it showing it?
Yeah.
It's not your normal, but it looks the same.
Chat is just going, here we go again. Why are you trying to get OBS going literally when we go live?
I want to be cool. I want to be cool like you guys. I can put it back.
Yeah.
See, look, my face. Oh, no, I don't even know anymore.
Oh, that's...
Does it flip? Yeah, it flips my face.
Blur.
What?
That's not a blur. This is a blur.
Pathetic. I don't want people to know that I own a Dyson. I'm trying to get the background in there.
Hey, that could be our new sponsors.
Dice, dude, if we
Dyson.
could, I'd get like a nice one of those fanless fans for summer.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Although
Come on,
I was watching
Dyson.
a thing, and they're actually way worse than a normal fan.
I saw that too, Shannon. And like, they were louder and perform worse.
Also,
what?
It's a shame.
Getting Dyson. That could
Getting
be
Dyson. Whoa.
It works.
We're
All right. Hi everyone. We're back. We're
getting Dyson.
We're getting Dyson tonight. We are just doing a kind of like a chat session before we sort of kick things back into gear. I didn't expect everyone to be here for a chat session, so I thought I won't do any prep for anything. If I'd have known we were all here, we probably would have been going into Curse of Strahd tonight. But that's cool. I'm happy to do a bit of a chat session, considering I'm having to use like my standing desk because I'm still sort of going through recovery from my surgery. But yeah, how's everyone? How are you guys all doing? It's been a while since I've seen you guys online and on Getting Dicey. You guys good? Shannon? Adam?
Oh, us?
Yeah. You guys.
Who cares about us?
The many people that have tuned in to see your faces.
Yeah, man.
I'm sharp. Look at this.
Fucking
Tune up the
epic.
sharpness.
Whoa, that beard is like electronic beard.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
I'm good, but I wanted to be cool and get OBS, and it's confusing, and I'm in over my head
Are
completely.
you? Yeah, because your video, well, from what I can see, looks really blurry and pixelated now. But you're going from like Snapcam to OBS to OBS Ninja at the moment, right? You got like multiple layers of. Oh, okay.
I just,
You get multiple cameras.
I just put it back to Snap camera because I don't know what's happening.
That's cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
Also, just first of all, I want to say a big thank you. Since we've gone live, we've already had NZ Waffles, Carl Zone, and Random Origins all resubscribe. 5 months for NZ Waffles, 4 months for Carl Zone, and 28 months for Random Origins. The support you guys have given us, even during our break, has been awesome. Like you guys are still all going hard with the Patreon, or still going hard subscribing to us here. We'll be getting back into regular content real soon, and hopefully the people that have subscribed and are part of our Patreon have been staying up to date in the supporters corner in our Discord as well. Just so we've been doing a couple of little posts here and there, just to give you guys a little bit of information about what's been going on. But hopefully we're back. Anyway, we've got to dance for the 3. Thank you very much. All right, cool. Thank you guys.
That was some of the worst we've done.
It really was. It was.
Well, I need to warm up though, you know.
To blow the rust out. No, blow the cobwebs out.
Blow the rust out. Yeah. That sounds a lot messier.
At the moment, there's a spot next to me in the stream and on the other side of Adam. John will be appearing there soon. He's just late, and I thought we'd just go live and he can show us soon.
Wait. I was like, wait, don't go live. I want to sort out my tech support issues. And Rain's like, no, we're going live.
It's 7:30. We got to go live. We've got to stick to our schedule. You know,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
There is like a bit of a thing where you do try and sort your tech stuff out at 7:29, and that has. It is
true.
That has got to
I
stop.
installed OBS like freaking last week.
Yeah.
So I get points for that.
Carlzone says he wants to see those 20 snacks, the 20 fucking snacks. Well, we've got 10 patrons. When we get 20 patrons at the $4 a month or a munch support tier, then we'll go live with our 20 fucking snacks session for sure.
How many patrons?
And we only need 10 more. And then we can go. So we've got 10 sitting there.
How many total do you need? 100.
No, we'll go live with the 20 fucking snacks when we get 20 patrons in
20.
in that
That makes sense.
tier, yeah.
Sorry.
This is probably alien to you completely, Adam. You've missed a few of our sessions where this came to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? Did you not know about 20 fucking snacks?
I know about $4 a month. I know that was. Yeah, that might have been me.
We've progressed beyond $4 a month. It has evolved.
20 fucking snacks.
Okay, this all started from our Call
Aggressive.
of Cthulhu, didn't it? Because we were talking about the 20 fucking wax lady. Do you know who she is?
Karen.
Karen,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The famous
Stokes
voice,
Valley.
famous voice message. Yeah, it all started from that, and I ended up playing my Call of Cthulhu character based off her, and it all came to pass that we decided that $20 a month, when we get that, we'll get 20 fucking snacks,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we'll do an exotic snack trying stream, so we all get to have a month.
So there'll be 4 snacks each.
I don't.
We're trying to figure it out.
Maybe like
Correct.
20 snacks each, if I can.
20
make that.
each.
I'm hungry.
That's fucked.
In 20 minutes.
They're not going to be like cakes. They'll be like one lolly,
But you're.
and then you have to rate them.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
no.
John.
Hello.
What's happened?
There's John.
Oh,
John's
here he
here.
is.
Here he is.
I remember this guy.
Squished has sort of mentioned that we do have 13 patrons at the moment, but only 10 of those are on the correct the $4 a month tier. So we need we got 3 of them are just off to the side there. That's fine, but they're not in the tier, so it'll happen.
You're not in the
We'll
munch. You're not in the munch tier.
We'll get there. How you doing, John?
Good, man. Good. It sounds like somebody's in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, I can hear that too.
Anybody
Yeah,
else
I
getting
can hear
that?
it as well.
I can hear it.
Is it
Oh.
I'm
Joe?
going to mute. Is it
It's,
me?
it's our wind tunnel.
It was you, Joe. Yeah, you've
Okay.
just.
It's
What
Joe
is
in the wind tunnel.
What? The fridge is going nuts next to me. It's probably that.
Fucking nuts
Can you
fridge.
tap your microphone, Joe, just to make sure you're using the right one? Yeah, I guess. Can you move it closer to you? Because it's obviously the gain is.
Okay.
That'll be what's going.
Hello.
Yeah.
What if you got in the fridge?
Hello. Yeah.
Good suggestion.
Smiley Fist
Yeah,
says it was just
That's it.
a Dyson on in the background.
A what?
It's
Oh, a
a
Dyson.
callback. It's a callback.
Our sponsor.
Smiley Fist being Reese, the person who played Sig. He's in our chat tonight, which is awesome.
Oh,
Hi, Smiley Fist.
For good reason as well. Oh, Jackalope wants to know if I've got a stand-up desk. I do have a stand-up desk. I can't sit at a desk at the moment without getting discomfort and pain after my surgery. So it's standing. It's standing time. But yes, we do have Reese's in the chat for a good reason. I might as well do this now. We've got a bit of a giveaway. Reese has spent some time. I don't know, Reese. How long did it take you to write this book? So he's written this new book. And it's called The Legend of Cragnole, and it's a story. It's a story about Sig that he's gone off and written because he missed playing D&D and missed playing Sig so much that he spent a lot of time in his head creating that character, and he's gone and only written a freaking book. I'm gonna bring.
and he's written other books before as well. So
He has. So let me show you. That's the
form.
that's the cover art there. I don't know how I can show you guys, but it's I'm bringing it up on the stream at the moment. And it's awesome because the cover art actually has his face as Sig, like with the full armor and everything. It looks fantastic. So, because obviously this has all been inspired thanks to a character that he played on our Getting Dicey Season 1, sort of Lost Mine of Phandelver, we thought it would be awesome to give a copy of this to you guys. So whether you want to get paperback or ebook, we'll give the winner whichever one they want, and we'll cover the costs. And I just need to. What I thought would be really good. Oh, I did not show that. What I thought would be really good is. Don't worry. Some people. It was something else. It's something else I'm going to show later. It's nothing dodgy.
Oh, okay.
Don't get us cancelled.
No. So what I thought would be good is if you wanted to get into the draw to win a copy of The Legends of Cragnole, jump into our Discord and give us, just let us know your favorite SIG moment from Lost Mine. If you don't have if you haven't seen the Lost Mine of Fandelver that we did, but you want to go into the draw, just make sure you're either a patron or subscribe to our Twitch channel, and you'll go in the draw as well. So if you've got a good a memory of SIG, chuck it up in the Discord, you'll get an extra entry in. So we've got people who are subscribers and patrons. They're going to get 2 entries anyway, but chuck in one of your favorite SIG moments and you can win a copy of this.
What channel should they chuck that into?
It's just the main one, the Blood on Blood on the Wine Tavern, which is our main channel.
Can't be called Blood on the Wine Tavern.
Blood on the Vine. Blood on the Vine.
Is it?
Yeah, Blood on the Vine Tavern. Yeah. Based after the first tavern you guys came across in Curse of Strahd.
Yeah.
So let me. There is something I will read as well. Let me just bring this up.
Have you never noticed that, Shannon?
No, I have read it. For some reason, it didn't sound right when you said it. Blood on the Vine.
That's fair.
It's a weird name.
So the cool thing about this book, The Legends of Cragnole, is the entire book right. It's basically a poem. So so it's
a saga.
It's a beautiful. It's like the odd. Basically, what's the big famous poem? I don't know. It's one of those.
Homer's Iliad.
There's one.
Beowulf.
But Beowulf, right?
Like rhyming
something. Oh, the Iliad. So it's basically
Iliad, yeah.
it's basically
Certainly a heavy hitter you've compared it to
It's
right
the-
at the gate.
the Iliad.
It's just like the Iliad. Look, wow.
The modern.
I don't want to undersell this. It is the modern Iliad.
and it will be remembered. It will be remembered as well as the Iliad as well.
Lord.
Now I've got a little. So I've got something to
If
read
you
out.
win it, go for the physical copy. This is going to be a priceless artifact. Watch out for the British Museum. They'll be banging your door down.
Printed on parchment. No, it's not printed on parchment.
Just kidding.
So I'm going to read a little blurb that I've got from it. If I mess up the kind of flow of it, it's because I'm bad at reading poems. So encloses a tale of a warrior on his travels. A simple homeward journey soon unravels. Sig, the war scholar, completed his quest, but return to Cragnole will put him to the test. Foul creatures and dangers of every sort lay ahead. Sig must be quick with his blade or end up dead. Against him there is an elusive evil on the rise. Can he get home with help from new allies? Maybe something... Oh no, that was just an extra line. Interested in knowing what happened to Sig since last time he was on Getting Dicey? Read The Legends of Cragnole to find out.
So this is a sequel.
This is... Well, yeah, Reese, I guess this is the sequel. This is what happens to him after the Lost Mine of Fandelver.
Cool.
Shannon, you've really underscored the importance of the moment and given it a quiet dignity with that.
Oh, with my eyebrows, I thought you said by calling it a sequel, I've undermined it.
No.
No.
The animations that have really set it off for me.
I've chucked the link to the Discord up in the chat as well, so please go over there, let us know your favourite SIG moments, and we'll put you in the draw, and we'll announce it next time we go live. So yeah, if you want a copy, please do that. Please. There we go.
I think it's a heck of a undertaking making a book, by the way. Most people think of making a book and then they actually make one. So getting it printing it is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. It's also available on Amazon, so I'm just showing the page there as well. I'll put the link up in the chat for that as well. If you don't want to win it, but you do want to get a copy, it's available paperback or Kindle through Amazon. And you can also take a look at Reese's other books that he's written in there as well, which is The Last Sunset. 2 books, The Last Sunset and The Last Sunset Afterlife as well. So definitely give it a look. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man.
I miss Sig.
Sig is fantastic. We all miss Sig. Would love to get him back in some format at some point. Reese.
Too many babies.
Too many babies.
Too many babies, Reese.
Yeah. Cool. All right. And have you guys got anything else you would like to plug before we talk about some D&D stuff?
Should we each go around and say our favorite Sig moment before putting it in the Discord?
Okay. Do you want to take?
I was going to say.
the lead?
I was going to say moment number 1 when someone said Sig, hail, and we were like, oh.
That was actually the first.
He said, he said, Sig hails from, and we was like, you can't say Sig hails.
Oh, that's right, yeah. We were like, we can't. It was the opening line of of Getting Dicey.
The entire thing.
Let's really set the scene for Getting Dicey. It was fantastic.
So moment number 1. That's my that was my moment.
Peak Dearly.
I just I'm gonna steal one so that other people don't take my idea, but I like how he just kept saying the same thing whenever he'd like dodge a hit with his feet. He picked a feat, I think, that helped him dodge.
Yeah.
That helped him reduce damage, and he'd be like, at the last moment, Sig turns his body slightly to the perfect angle to reduce the damage by 3.
Yeah. Every goddamn melee attack. As a DM, that was so infuriating.
It was great.
And I wanted to ban feats then and there after that. I was like, fuck.
Mine was couldn't take damage that was under 3 or something. He just absorbed it, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
all melee damage by 3 points, I think, which is awesome at low levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be so helpful in Barovia where we're at now, I don't think. But in early times, it was just like, oh man, he's such a beast.
Yeah. I think mine was just his giving at the start of the campaign. He kept giving ticks to people, like ticking them off in his little book. It's like, I'll remember you. There's a very manly thing to do. I would give you a tick in my book or something like that. It was always good. Yeah. Adam, I know you spent a lot of time with Sig.
You have to make up a moment.
What's your favorite Sig moment?
Just make one up.
Oh, don't make me pick. Yeah. No, look. Sure, it was great.
All of them.
Yeah. He basically never put a foot wrong to me. Just every line a new classic.
Shannon?
Let me think. I liked the bit where there was like a hostage with it was being taken in, what was it, like a red brand, and he had a hole in him or something, and then Loris kept trying to stick his finger in his wound to torture him as they're walking along, and Sig would put his hand in front of it, and then it ended up like this big poking and blocking challenge.
Like this kung fu kind of...
For quite a while.
Yeah.
I think they were rolling for who was poking the hole and who was blocking the hole. So. He stood up for the downtrodden, I guess. Well, he wasn't downtrodden.
Yeah. Anyway, jump into the Discord. Let us know your favourite Sig moments, and we'll get...
that we've stolen all of them.
Maybe those are your favourite moments as well. Maybe
Adam took every moment.
Competition's over, I guess. That's fine. It's not who has the best or the most favourite Sig moments. It's just sharing them. Cool. So we wanted to chat about... Joe, do you want to talk about what your suggestion for chatting tonight was?
Oh, shoot. What was my suggestion? I had too many. Actually, no. I remember the second one. I had 2 pictures. This one was that we were going to talk about our characters that we're playing in Curse of Strahd and what we think we could improve on them, either play style or mechanically, to make them more fun, and where we want to go with them. Is that sort of the gist of what I said? Yeah,
yes. Like, how are you guys enjoying the characters you're playing? Are there changes that you'd like to make? Are there strategies you'd like to create as a team, so when you move forward, you can be like, here's something we put together for this kind of moment, you fucking terrible vampire scum. I don't know, like something like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Who came up with that idea? Was there something else? I feel like there was something else.
Yeah, there was. Like, but we're going to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
We can. Yep.
Yeah, we want to do one shot.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. So let's. So yeah, Joe. Since it was your idea, why don't you talk about American, so you can get the ball rolling?
Okay. I am thinking of what's it called when you. I'm thinking of changing my subclass to one of the new ones that came out. Because I think it would suit what I like to play, like the style I like to play as. Was it Tasha's Cauldron of Everything? They introduced a bunch of new subclasses.
Yeah.
And I thought the theme of Circle of Stars sounded really cool and fits well with how I like to play my character anyway. One of the things that I don't really is like turning into an animal in combat that much, because it's really I don't like wasting turns. Like, I don't like the action economy being wasted. So like, you only get to change into an animal as a bonus action if you pick the Circle of
the Moon, is it?
The Moon, yeah, the Circle of the Moon,
yeah.
one of the base ones. So that's like a really good one if you want to be like a super good animal attacker. But since I don't have that, I have to use like a whole turn to change in a battle, and it like is not as good. But the Circle of Stars is cool because it buffs your spells, and I really like casting spells. And I think you can also buff your like archery skills with it. Off the top of my head, and I also like the archery. I like having the bow and arrow.
So,
but me and Reagan, we were discussing. I think it was just you and me discussing this a while back, Reagan. Is that we, like, as a team, feel quite? We're probably a little bit more overpowered than we should be if you're playing it as the book kind of recommends, because they reckon you should be like getting into like 3+ fights a day, or like 6 or something. So like, we don't get tapped out on our spell slots. But like, how narratively boring would that be to be like, okay, now you have to fight some skeletons. Now there's more vampires.
So
a game day.
Oh my God.
So in the book, in the Curse of Strahd book, it says that every in-world 30 minutes, like out on the road, I should be rolling random encounters. And so you guys take 4 hours to get from one point to another on the map. So that would be 8 checks for random encounters. So you could have like one session that is just a random encounter that lasts maybe 3/4 of the session. And then we wait a week, and I just fucking just check again because half an hour rolls.
We walked for half an hour.
Yeah.
Thank you for not doing that.
I know, right? Like,
it would be so frustrating when we're like trying to follow a plot. You'd just be like, well, too bad.
It's like we're like, you left that town 8 or 10 sessions ago, and you're only just getting to your destination now. That was something that from very, very early on, I was like, I can't do that. I'm just not. I can't do it. But it does mean that you guys get to these locations, and you've got more of your resources than I expected you to have, and I need
the game is
designed
not
to have.
Designed for us to have, like, because as the spellcasters, we probably have way more spell slots on hand at any given time than we maybe are meant to, which makes us a bit more powerful. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm so close to dying so often.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting point as well. Because like, I'm like, oh, it'd make my archery better, but then I'm like, I haven't taken out my bow and arrow in ages.
So do you think that the character that you originally thought American to be isn't really needed because we don't put her into enough combat sessions? Is that what you're kind of
maybe
saying?
Like, I feel like for each character you're meant to have like your bread and butter weapon, which for my character would be, I guess, the bow and arrow.
Literally bread and butter.
But
that's a good weapon.
I I think there's a rule set for that.
Wow. Yeah. Never mind. Look, this is the most human contact I've had in like 5 weeks, okay? So.
And it'll be the last if you carry on like that.
Yeah, I can see why.
I'm like, I'm right here. I've been in the house the whole time. Okay. I guess I don't count.
He considers you property. That's all. That's all it is. That's
all.
Yeah, but I think I don't really get around to using the bow and arrow or other weapons much because like I'm too busy having fun casting all these spells, you know?
Yeah, like I don't think of Mirakin as an archer when I think of Mirakin. I think of her as the one with the spells.
But I do think it's really cool, and it's kind of a quandary. I think
you've done a lot of archery. I remember you jumping up in a tree, shooting people.
Yeah, I think it's been less so lately. Because as you level up, you get more spell slots. So I'm like, wow, I want to do a cool spell.
Yeah, and a bow and arrow doesn't really compare, does it, to lightning or?
And
it's not quite as exciting as I shoot. Like I shoot the arrow. It's not as exciting as like I summon the spirits of the wild beasts.
If we had silver-tipped arrows, though, then they would be helpful.
Hell yeah!
I do.
You do.
He does now.
They're crossbow bolts, right?
I didn't think that'd be important. I left them in Barovia. I buried them with the old man. That's I thought I won't be needing these.
The shafts. I was just going to touch on what you said, Joe. Like, I think the other thing that encourages as well, if you have multiple encounters per day and you show up like tired, is it encourages players to find somewhere to rest and slow down the pace even more. And then the DM can force action, but then you're just forcing action. So it's like this, rather than being a bit tit for tat, you just go, fuck all that noise.
Yeah.
We're just going to do this. And then the DM can make the encounter slightly harder if they want to as well.
Yeah. I think also like, it would also lend itself to also just your party just being like, okay, let's just kill everything we see because like we just come across so many things that we have to kill. Could possibly lead to just like, okay, it's another obstacle, kill it.
It's a really hard balance because it's the same, and I've voiced this before. Like, you guys often get inspiration and you just hold on to it. And I know,
not to, but
but it makes sense to. And I know that Shannon, I don't know if Shannon's used one of his most powerful spell slots yet.
Oh.
Because you can do level 4 or is it 5 now or something. And I'm just like, I feel like you like hoarding your spell slots quite intently.
No, I mean, I have Sickening Radiance as the 4th level. That's like my highest. Okay. And I use that quite a bit.
Okay.
But I am building up like, actually it's the 2nd and 1st level ones that I don't use.
Ah, right. That's the Animate Dead.
No, that's a 3rd level spell.
Ah, right. Because I know you hold on to that as well, right? For end of the day.
I need to keep some for Animate Dead, otherwise they go nuts at midnight and try and murder me. So it uses up my spells. Yeah. So this is, I don't know, it's not really the topic that we were discussing. So how can we, what has that got to do with your character and how you're playing it and how you feel Mirakin's going then, Joe?
What does what have to do with it?
Well, that was what we were talking about.
Spell slot thing. It kind of does make me second guess, like, if like changing my subclass to one that helps with like archery is even that worth it. But I think there's options within it, like you can choose what you're focusing on. But it just got me thinking about like, are we actually playing them how the game is like sort of designed? Is that why we like sometimes feel a bit overpowered because we're meant to be more like resource tapped out?
Do you guys feel like you are being overpowered in general?
Oh, we still have struggles, so I don't think we're like super overpowered. But I think the spells has made the game a bit easier.
Yeah, I kind of feel the opposite. I feel like you guys get through, like you come across something that seems quite daunting, and then you just smoke it for the most part. You get through it pretty easily, with maybe someone getting in a dying state. But in general, you're not really risking death that often. And I just want to make sure that you guys are actually enjoying it, because I know part of playing this is that fear that you might lose your character. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this too is because, like, if you feel like your character's not mechanically working to be as cool as you thought they would be, it does make the game a little bit less fun. I think that's something Adam was saying at one point, that like Morley's not as cool as he thought it would be because like he keeps missing, but like he has had like a bit of a run of rolling badly. But like I understand that.
I don't think I've said that, but I can see why you'd think that that's constantly running through my head.
I want to. Do you remember when like
he said he's not the swashbuckler that he thought he would be? Right? Is that right?
It's
Adam?
I think it was the poor, I don't know whether it was just poor runner rolling or whether my expectations were out of whack. But yeah, I do remember like doing a lot of attacks with my crossbow that were like just do nothing. I was just like, I may as well not have made the turn.
Right.
And it just those started mounting up, and I thought, I thought my character would at least be able to hit more often than I am hitting. So not really so much about dealing damage, but at least being able to kind of score a hit or score a blow.
I think what we probably could work on as a party is trying to get advantage more often and being like a bit more intent on getting that, because that's like a way of basically doubling your chance of hitting at any given time.
Yeah.
And that's something that I also should be doing more, because like that kind of ties. Like I literally picked a feat that works with it, and I barely even use it. That's another reason I'm like, why don't I do more archery? Because I picked an archery-based feat, and I like haven't shot an arrow for so long.
And what's the feat do with your archery? You get to roll a third dice or something, don't you?
Yeah, it's called Elven Accuracy, and if I have advantage, I get to roll another die.
Right.
I think. I have to check that.
But yeah, so I guess what you're saying with trying to get advantage, right, especially for you, Adam, as a rogue, as soon as you get advantage, you instantly get your sneak attack chucked on top as well. So it's finding it's finding ways to like be a rogue and hide in the shadows and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like those opportunities don't present themselves too often without me having to force something or split the party.
Right.
But I do feel like there's a big difference between the amount of times I can like hit versus when I do hit it. Actually, like I seem to be able to dish it. I guess this is the mechanics of the game, right? Like, well, the trade-off is maybe you won't hit as often, but when you do in this class, you're actually going to deal a fair bit of damage. But I don't think that I wouldn't have like thought that there are too many things I could be doing differently or playing the character differently to force advantage. I feel like it either presents itself or it doesn't.
That's where I'm thinking like maybe we need to work on the teamwork a bit more, that other people could help Morley get that, because it's good for all of us.
Hell yeah. And that's things like,
something we've been lacking a little bit. And sometimes I feel like buff spells are really crappy, so you do have to be quite careful when you try to help someone, because sometimes it's just a wasted turn.
Yeah, well, the one thing that we lost for Paul Morley is the fact that when we had a barbarian, they're all about getting up close and personal. And for Adam, that means that he instantly gets a stealth attack on anyone that the barbarian was fighting. So now we don't have people getting up close as often. It means there's less of a chance to get that sneak attack.
We do have skeletons.
That's true.
Should be getting in the front.
Yeah.
I can read the Elven Accuracy feat if you want. You get to increase one of your scores by 1, and then whenever you have advantage on an attack roll using one of those, either Dex, Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, you can re-roll one of the dice once.
Right.
So actually, does that I've been underutilizing this.
I think everybody is underutilizing.
More powerful.
I think everyone's underutilizing at least one thing, because there's so many different things you could all be doing.
There's a
Guys,
lot.
Does this mean I think I can apply this to my spell rolls?
So do one more time.
Okay, so you get to so basically you pick a feat instead of an ability score increase of 2.
I get that. Just what's the
right? No, I'm just saying that for anyone who doesn't know, like in the chat or whatever. But for this one, you get to choose an increase of a ability score of 1. So you are giving up one of those points. So you can choose Dex, Int, Wiz, or Cha. Whenever you have advantage on attack roll using one of these modifiers, you can re-roll one of the dice once. So basically, I use Wisdom to attack with spells. So that means anytime I have an advantage on a spell roll, I should be re-rolling it once, right?
Yeah. Sounds like
an attack, spell attack.
A spell attack, yeah.
I'm in heaven. This is so much better.
So something that requires like you can have melee spell attacks and ranged spell attacks. So something that requires a dice roll for it. Then yeah.
So it won't affect spells that need to be saved against.
Correct.
Which is not on you anyway.
Yeah, like area attacks.
I just got stronger, guys.
Sweet.
I should read my feats after I take them.
Yeah, I don't have any feats, I don't think.
I've got a feat.
Oh, you picked one up recently, didn't you?
Was your feat?
Dual wielder.
That's right.
Ooh.
Have you utilized that since you picked it up?
What does that do, Adam?
I can hold when I'm holding a. Oh boy. It's something to do with when I'm holding a one-handed weapon. I can also use my crossbow.
That's right. So it's any finesse weapon in one hand and crossbow in the other.
Yeah.
Or can't you just have like two swords, like one finesse sword and one strength or finesse?
I think his one was specifically for the crossbow use, wasn't it? It was crossbow expert. I think it was.
I was debating between two feats, actually. Now I remember. And dual wielder was one of them, which was more like, you could do more stuff with two hands. And then crossbow expert was like, hey, you can use a crossbow when you're using other stuff. And it gave, I think, another advantage.
I think it's like if you're within 5 feet, you don't get disadvantage.
That's it.
Yeah, I can like go close range with the crossbow without the...
So do you have both of those?
That's very...
Just crossbow expert, I think.
Just crossbow expert.
Okay.
I think it's very Van Helsing of you.
Yeah.
Can you attack twice?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's
you're
awesome.
high enough level that you can like shoot twice with the crossbow, and you can do it at close range.
When I'm using that feat, like whatever the parameters are of that feat, I get to like in my turn, I get to fire off the crossbow as well
as a bonus action, right?
Yeah, but I couldn't just say I get 2 attacks.
Yeah, so it's like attack with your finesse weapon for your main attack, and then a bonus attack of firing the crossbow.
Because I guess like fighters they end up with 2 attacks quite early, but rogues don't.
I kind of imagine like that. You know, big swipe with the blade or whatever, and just ending up in a pose with the crossbow at the chest, sort of like just letting it go is one like smooth movement, you know. So it's almost like just one attack, but that hits twice.
Neat.
Yeah.
I think I figured out why I was confused about this elven accuracy thing, because I assumed that you only get advantage on the modifier of the score that you chose to increase. But it sounds like you get on all 4. Or am I misinterpreting that?
Sorry, what?
We go with the rules lawyering. Okay, let me read it.
I think you're right. Ranged attack.
What?
That makes sense. You said ranged attack, right? So any ranged. No, any attack.
So you can choose. Yeah, it says increase your Dex, Int, Wiz, or Char score by 1.
Right.
Okay, and I chose Dex, I think.
And I think
I
think what it's saying is because you get to increase it by 1 instead of your normal ability score adding to, right? You increase it by 1. Whichever one you increased, if you do an attack using that skill, you get to roll an extra dice. Even if it's a magical attack. But only if your magical attack uses that Dex, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think I thought it was. But then it says whenever you have advantage on an attack roll using one of those modifiers.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
So it's like all 4 of them, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because you're elvish. I guess that's their sort of
neat
skills.
Okay, now everyone's job is to help me actually remember to use my feet. Thank you.
So it's not strength, and it's not
strength.
What's the other one? It's not
charisma.
Or is it charisma?
It is char.
Is it not int?
It is int.
It's int with incha.
So
It's not con, and it's not strength.
Right.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So basically, just not strength for the purposes.
So
of
if
attacks.
you do an attack,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. If you do an attack, what you get to re-roll.
If you have advantage, you can re-roll one of
if
the
you had
dice.
advantage,
Yeah. So I need to try and get advantage.
So you get 3 dice, basically.
you have super advantage all the time.
Yeah.
Basically,
I really need. That's one of the things I need to do with my
I'm really going to have
character
to scale these fights up. I really, really have to start scaling these
Just
fights
give up.
You wouldn't metagame if we came up with strategy.
Just Strada's like watching all these characters and how strong you are, and he just comes down. He's like, I give up. I'm sorry.
So blah, 3
I'm
dice.
sorry. I'd love it if he apologized.
I'm out.
So I need to. I think both me and Morley are built to try and get advantage. Like it's just proportionately more important for us than maybe the other classes.
Well, and
bonuses.
So we've got flanking. Obviously, is really good for getting advantage. We can get those skeletons up close for Morley to be able to get advantage. You've got like climbing trees to get height to get advantage, or different height levels to get that kind of stuff as well.
For flanking, do you have to be on the opposite side, or are
do
they just being attacked one from one side?
You have to be opposite sides. So it's almost like they're being distracted by one, while the other one attacks from behind it.
Yeah.
It leaves them open.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas if they were two like in front of you, you're kind of like, well, I can just defend against.
What
my
about
front.
a 3/4 angle?
The book specifies it has to be opposite sides. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to know.
I think I've let a few slip just because I'm too easy on you guys sometimes. But I think I should try and stick to it. Should be opposing sides. Yeah. No? Am I not too easy
I don't
on
think
you?
you've let anything slip. I feel like often we're like saying, "Oh, does this count?" And you're like, "No," and we're like, "No, we tried. We knew it didn't count, but we were thinking you might be kind."
Okay,
Like-
here's a question. Oh.
I was just going to ask one more question about rogues and advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You were kind of alluding to something earlier. If I was in the shadows or hiding, I get advantage on my attack. It's been a while since I've played. Is this like a real basic of the class that I have neglected?
Yeah.
John's laughing. I'm going to take that as yes.
You get to use hide as a bonus action, where most people would have to use it as an action. So it's something where you can attack and hide somewhere. And then
That's awesome.
if you've successfully hidden, then your attack can be a surprise action, or it can be with basically advantage because they don't know where it's coming from.
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
cannot believe people subscribe to this channel and watch me butcher this character.
This is like some level
bad.
1 shit.
Well, I think I've probably butchered the actual mechanics. I'd have to look into it properly, but that's around about the deal behind it. I know when I played a rogue, I was using hide all the time, and
it's like
do
people
we
who
have
like to
any-
yell at their TV screen. Like that's what they're doing. You're like, fucking hide!
Hide!
It's
Not rogue, and it's time to hide!
Yeah, exactly. And then they're watching me go, I think I'm going to retreat forever. I think that's the right thing to do.
Calzone,
I want to know.
Calzone in the chat also said knocking someone prone is really good for advantage as well, getting advantage on it, melee attacks.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to
And
know.
I think with your crossbow skill, even if they're prone, I think that you don't get disadvantage at shooting them. Is that right?
With a crossbow expert. That's
So
you're right.
make them fall over and shoot them.
Because then you've got again, but
Classy.
you don't have your fighter or your barbarian.
We'll just
because
do that to
you can grab, you can grapple someone, and then you can basically knock them down onto the ground once they're grappled.
What's
is
that?
cool.
Restrain.
There's one where you can. I was reading, man, this is maybe a couple of years ago now, but I was reading all about the grapple rules and stuff. And it was like, if you can successfully grapple someone on your next turn, you can basically put them down into a prone position. I can't remember what it was that did it. But
Yeah, you can be like grapple master. That's a feat as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Things like that. Ugh.
Shannon, are you aware that we can just see a black screen and some Apple Notes?
Damn it. Am I fucking...
Let's use Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, all right, let's do this.
there we go. There
what are
it
you going to
is.
play us on Crunchyroll?
At least I don't have anything too dodgy on my home screen.
How's everyone else feeling about their character? Oh, sorry, Joe, did you have more to add?
Oh, I wanted to ask if we've got... I think after we talk about this, we should throw it to the chat if we have any rules experts and see what the chat's recommendations for optimizing our characters are.
Yeah,
if they have any hot tips.
There you go, chat. You've heard that. Throw up some hot tips for some of the characters that we have. You know the characters, so
should we do them one so it doesn't get too confusing?
Just the speed that they pop up, it can be maybe a little annoying, I guess. So just put them up. What's your question, Shannon?
Does anyone have like a spell or a skill or something that makes a character have disadvantage on Constitution saving throws?
Isn't that like if they're poisoned?
That would do it probably.
I think.
You think I know my own spells?
Because I mean, this is where like buffs they come in handy if you got a plan. Because like I've got Sickening Radiance, right? So when it's one of my most powerful things, and when a creature moves into the spell's area for the first time or on a turn or starts a turn there, that creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 4d10 radiant damage, suffer 1 level of exhaustion, etc.
Poisoned would do that. So if Mirakin had a poisoned arrow, which we know she can do because of Ranzen, then she could poison someone and you could use that spell to really fuck them up.
Yeah. Right. I had something as well. I was trying to do a combo with my ghost Slimery guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they work together. So once they get... they have disadvantage on con checks and yada yada. They get poisoned and then it just continues to spiral down for them. If we had like a plan like that, you know, like one person poisons them or whatever, then they're more likely to take 4d10 damage from then on, that sort of thing.
So just as an aside, I'm more than happy to let you guys, like if a battle kicks off, I'm more than happy for you guys to just sort of say, hey, can we just talk about a strategy and go? And it can totally be a strategy that you guys had talked about fireside the night before, that kind of thing, you know? The same as how we dealt with that puzzle at the tower, where it was like, I let you guys talk about it, and that was kind of Mirakin's mind working while she was standing in front of it. I'm totally down for you guys strategizing mid-game. Because that's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Also things like, if we just have a list of things that make them have disadvantage against like Dex or whatever, because then like Fireball, if that would much higher chance of fucking them up. 8d6 damage if they have disadvantage on Dex saves. Yada yada. So now, if anyone has something that does that or fucks up an ability.
John, I know you've mentioned
have much like that.
In general that you're kind of like a crunchy player, right? You like the numbers, you like figuring out that kind of stuff. Like, and I believe we had a talk where you were saying you're trying to hold back from doing that with this character. Are you sitting there going, oh shit, I think I've got some great ideas and some plans here?
No, not really, because I don't know if there's any and I guess deliberately so, because a few of the combos that we've worked out in the past, or I've thought worked in the past, actually don't work. I think and apart from maybe they've added some new stuff, but I think they deliberately don't make it easy to line stuff like that up. Like, just a real, like if you could give everything. There was one combo that Shannon and I had with Shannon was a wizard, I think, and I was a hunter, and it was you had grease was the spell.
The best spell.
And I think you're a wizard. And there was something that I did that if they had Dex, I can't remember what my skill was, but basically it didn't work the way I thought it did, and it was fucking amazing because it gave me an extra attack or something. It was a feat that I had, I think. I can't remember. Great story, but what I was just going to say was I think most of the magic and certainly Bill's magic, tends to focus on buffing your party rather than debuffing the whole, like all of your opponents.
Yeah, I think mine too. Like I was looking through my spells and I can't really find many that do debuffs.
Well, I've got like Mind Sliver, it's a cantrip, and if it hits them, it just does 1d6 psychic damage, or I think once it does 2d6 now. And you subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn, so that's something. I mean, that covers all of their saving throws. So if you go, oh, I've got this big spell, but it only works if they fuck up their dex save, then you could yell that out and I'll shoot Mind Sliver.
Yeah, I think I tried to do a combo once and it just never worked out very well. I think I tried to buff Loros and it just felt like a waste of a turn. You know what I mean? like when you spend a whole action on buffing someone, it's usually just better off that you should have just attacked directly, because then it's just like, oh yeah, they can still just miss as usual or whatever. And it's like,
but
cool.
Let's say like you have a plan against Strahd, and that revolves around getting him stuck in this
Greece,
or getting him stuck in what's the fucking one I use, the Sickening Radiance or something.
Radiance.
Yeah.
You know, that would be worth using probably a few people's turns beforehand to try and make sure he has disadvantage against that, because then boom, once it hits a few times, the exhaustion, I probably wouldn't even get exhausted, he's undead, but that sort of thing. If you've got a big fight and you go, all right, we want to hit him with this big spell or something, then
I mean, and that's the thing. It'd be quite cool to have people calling out for things like "time for plan sickening" or whatever. You know, like having your. So like
I do.
He'll never crack that.
So like you guys,
so
you guys are like, oh yeah, like I know that I need to do this because he's going to be doing this big move soon. So instead of having to be like, hey guys, let's do that thing where we agreed a couple of sessions ago where you would go and do this, you just call it by a plan and have your characters
get the playbook out,
role play it, you know?
yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Or I've got like hold person, like if you what does that do to them? It holds them. They're paralyzed, right? So yeah. I mean, that's probably good against everything. It's not.
It's good against all
the plan.
But it's actually better against like magic users who don't have high strength.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
So that's awesome in itself.
Oh, is it?
Because
I thought, then it's the opposite.
Like if you can hold person on someone, that instantly gives anyone advantage against them. So that gives most of your gives American advantage, gives Morley advantage, and sneak attack. So it's awesome. It's things like that could really make.
When we're in the vineyard, there was someone was using hold person when we were in the vineyard with the vines, and we were getting through enemies quite quickly.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I remember it being a point of contention.
Oh God!
Where I like. What?
I have nightmares of the vineyard. I still have nightmares.
Oh my God!
Just because because I fucked up like the what you were wanting.
No, I was gonna say I'm looking back on it now, and I think while we didn't play it quite well, I think your call was probably in the right. That I think it probably should have just grabbed everything indiscriminately. But I think what we did wrong was that I feel like my character should have known that. I just wouldn't have done it. Do you know what I mean? Because looking at the spell now, plant growth, it just says all the normal plants become thick and overgrown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I sort of in my mind envisioned it me controlling the plants.
And I think you're right. I
imagine actually now I'm like, oh, maybe they would just grow indiscriminately as that is written. But I feel like my character should have known that and not been surprised by my own spell.
Right. I know. Yeah, I think we've done that before. It's like, if I hear that you're if it's even remotely going against what you're thinking, then I just need to ask, do you still want to do it? You know, not just be like, well, now you're fucked, so have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a balance with that, though,
Yes,
right? Like
yeah.
sometimes I think in real life, you might have done something before and you might know how to do it, but it still goes wrong sometimes. Or in life you still face unintended consequences sometimes. I think it is a balance, though.
I like
Yeah,
that as
yeah.
well. I like that as
That
well.
comes out a lot of you say, I want to jump out a window or something like that. But if it's when it's interpreting the spell's language, that can be really
but there's still
you
a
can
chance
take it
that
both ways.
even if you do the spell perfectly, right, that the person casting it didn't quite expect it to go the way they did.
Yeah, things
There
like
is that possibility.
Fireball, that's a classic. It fucks, you do it inside and it fucks everyone over and everyone dies.
I think there's a difference between not knowing what it does and not thinking through the consequences.
Yes, yeah,
So
for sure.
if you just do it knowing what it will do and don't worry about the consequences, and then it has consequences, that's good, because like it should have consequences. But if it does the opposite to what you expected, then that's kind of bad.
So I've kind of got.
You would assume at the very least your character would know how to do their own spells.
But if it's literally the first time they've learnt the spell, they've never used it before, they've got zero experience with it, and they go and try it for the first time, there's a possibility it won't quite go like what they thought.
Yeah, but like that's not part of the rules to be like, oh, the first time you use a spell, it has a 20% chance of not doing what you thought.
No.
Like,
but I'm not saying that. But like in a way that you didn't expect. It was an unforeseen circumstance, which was me going, okay, well, all of these plants have overgrown, and you're like, oh, I wanted only certain ones to go.
Yeah, but that was me misreading the spell, and I don't think that should translate to what the character's knowledge is.
Gotcha.
I think like rule of cool, right? Like what is the logical thing? Because otherwise you can just go, well, how did American learn the spell? Did American imagine it in mind? Like you start to get into some quite deep things about, like, it's very unlikely that a spellcaster is going to bust something out for the first time in a life and death situation.
Yeah, having never thought about it or tried it.
Except in this context, because otherwise it would be really boring if we're like every night around the campfire, like, oh, I'm going to learn how to do this thing.
Yeah. Just to like safeguard ourselves against surprises, be like, I'm going to practice Fireball so that I know it will turn up in the circle I draw if we get into a battle later. Otherwise, it might explode on my head.
I do feel like we've talked about this situation and that spell to death, but in previous conversations anyway. And I think we came to the agreement that we just need to have a talk about it, and if we're seeing it in opposite, we figure it all out and decide if you still want to do it. It's nothing more than that, really.
It just came to my head because I was like, I wonder what spells I'm not using that I should be using. Like, that's why I was curious what the chat might say. Oh, you know what's great though? You know how I was like really mad about how Find Traps was such garbage? I found a Reddit thread about people saying which they reckon are the worst spells in all of 5e, and people were like, Find Traps is shit! And I was like, oh yes, my people, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear you all agree with me that it's absolute dirt.
Let's get back to the conversations about characters and stuff. Because we're kind of a little bit off track there.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
No, it's relevant to me asking what spells are good for my class.
We're going to rename Getting Dicey chat sessions to Finding Traps.
Yeah, Find Traps and Plant Growth.
Oh, okay, I'm getting roasted now.
I was going to go back to, because I feel like we didn't really talk very much about Adam's character.
Yeah.
We kind of started talking about some of his mad steez, but...
His what?
His what?
Mad steez. Mad skills.
Yeah.
Mad steez.
This guy from T-Bay with all the lingo. Wow.
Mad steez. You're all the same age as me. How do you not know about Mad steez?
I know about Mad steez.
How old is this
Literally
thing?
never heard that before.
You've never heard Mad steez?
No.
It's
And I'm
like
from Wanganui.
It's like shorthand for having mad style. Oh man, I can't.
That makes a ton of sense. Anyway, what's the question?
What's your mad steez, man?
What is your
Tell us about your mad steez.
We're the same age. You tell me.
when Joe proposed this chat topic, it was like talking about our characters and what we could be doing better or whatever. I was thinking about my reputation as I sometimes unfairly feel as to like want to run away, and
yeah,
I don't want to get. I don't want to get too heavy for a chat session about Dungeons and Dragons, but I was thinking about Afghanistan.
All right, I didn't think.
Okay.
No.
Oh boy.
This is in no way intended to be disrespectful or triggering. I guess genuinely trigger warning. I'm going to discuss Afghanistan really briefly. If that's uncomfortable for you, maybe tune out for like 1-2 minutes.
Adam's like, they should have just run away.
I was hearing journalists talk about like, okay, it's all suddenly become very real, and like I had intended to stay and cover atrocities or things that were going really horribly, but the actual legitimate fear of seeing Taliban walk down the streets and firing off AK-47s has like totally flipped my willingness to stay and do that. And I was thinking that's kind of how I've been playing Morley, like very, very seriously, like thinking about serious danger and not wanting to die and wanting to stay alive, and to really plan everything quite thoroughly to give the best chance of success in not dying. And for that reason, quite often I've been like, no, like it looks like the odds are stacked against us here, so let's get out of here and replan and then go back with a better plan. But I've been thinking like, well, I don't know, that's just like me, right? Like maybe, or not maybe, it looks like a lot of other people play D&D a very different way, where they're like a bit more cavalier, and I'd got a lot of shit early on for like, well, that's what heroes do. And at the time I was like, I genuinely thought that was kind of unfair. I was like, yeah, well, maybe fucking dumb heroes, but smart ones actually think things through.
That's true, yeah.
But then I thought, well, no, like it is a fantasy game, and the stakes are not you are actually going to die if this goes wrong. So maybe like my risk tolerance needs a little bit of resetting. And it came up again in one of the last sessions we played before I stepped away for a bit, when we were at the crypt. And it looked like those things were just like not really taking any damage. No spells were having any effect. And I was like, well, let's get out of here. And then it was like, oh, here he is again. Oh, run away, Morley. So I don't know. Curious, like, what was there merit in stepping away to reform a plan and keep yourself safe? Or is the expectation whenever you are playing Dungeons and Dragons is that come hell or high water, I will like go into battle, and if I die, I die?
I want to say I don't want you to feel we may give you a light roasting from time to time, but I actually respect that as a valid option, and we seriously thought that you had a good point, and that was a real option at that point.
And I will just say in the chat, Miserable and Waffles are saying like, what you're saying is Morley is the only sensible one, and running away is always a legit strategy, and people don't run away enough. That's what the chat is saying. Yeah,
it's true. People don't. Yeah. Well, in D&D or in real life.
Yeah, in D&D.
Yeah. I
think people run away in real life a lot more.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because you got to think like, I am going to die, but also you got to think, if you cling too tightly to your character living, how are they going to die?
They just stay at the port drinking rum.
They're not going to do that much, yeah. Whereas, like, you can go out in a blaze of glory, I suppose. Yeah, that's the thing, because it becomes a point in a fight where it's a downward spiral, and it's obvious you cannot win. But usually a way to get out just before that. You go, shit, let's get out. And we probably should have a plan on how to best leave a fight if we're obviously going to lose, because they do happen.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe like what I'm thinking is we kind of all need to come to that conclusion really quickly together, because running away half-baked or going into a battle half-baked is like the worst thing you could do, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially if you start, if one half of the party leaves, then the other one's definitely dead.
Well, I mean, if the half the party leaves, then I'd say the ones that are staying to fight are the stupid ones.
Well, they could have won, at that point. But
not always black and white like that.
Yeah, it's not. But if everyone sticks around and you have a plan to be able to leave if it really goes south, not just as it's pretty much going south, but you go, okay, we cannot win, and now we do the exit plan. But if anyone exits before that, then you're already gone down.
How do you even time that though? Because if you mistime that, everyone's dead.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to come down to the wire, but I mean, for that one you're talking about with our last battle, it was pretty even at that point. They were tough, but any time you go into a battle, the DM is going to set it up so it looks like you could win or you could lose. That's kind of their job, to add some risk. If you only go into battles where you go, all right, we 100% can win this, then I don't think a DM's going to set up a battle like that.
That's so boring. Why even have that battle if it's going to be...
Yeah, so
you make it over in like a minute if it's one of those fights.
Yeah, if it's always going to be like, we could die here. So I don't think you should leave just if that's if it comes up like we could very well die in this battle, because that's going to be all of them.
I feel like that last fight, because Adam, you weren't there for the wrap up of that fight. The way that fight ended up going was as soon as one of them was down, then you guys just had them done. It was good.
Oh, like Christmas.
And we did some really good teamwork in that one, and we actually used Morley. We did like a combo with
Morley. Actually did amazing.
He got a bunch of really good rolls. I hate to tell you that.
He jumped off someone, did a flip, and then shot through a window.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
I used mold earth to make a platform. So we were doing like real teamwork.
And
we just made like an earthen platform and everyone kept jumping on it to shoot through the window. It was great.
So what you're saying is, the minute I left, we trounced them, and
not straight away, but yes.
He was caning it.
It was really good. Like everyone was talking about.
Still backing me up,
I think there's some tactics and stuff, but like I said. Yeah,
I think they were really close to leaving. Like I do think everyone was pretty. There was like a rule of if there's certain amount of these skeletons get down, then we're out. And a couple of them did drop, I think, or they got really damaged and moved
none of them did. But we rotated.
Yeah.
But I was thinking we were going to leave that session because it was looking dire. But I think, like I said, I do think that anytime you get into a serious fight in D&D, it's always going to be like that dire, because otherwise there's no point in going into these battles.
But okay, let's say all things being even, there is always a chance you'll die in like a major encounter. Then that still doesn't tip the balance in either. Like there is a good decision to make here, which is always this. It's still got to be like, as a team, you've got to come to an agreement, whatever the agreement is. And the most important thing is not whether you stay and fight or run away. It's that you agree together quickly and not to like waffle on.
I think we learned a good lesson that fight is that we shouldn't let it play out as like the characters taking multiple turns humming and hawing. We should come together as a team right at the start and be like, are we going to give this a crack or are we going to run away?
Yeah, and sometimes it can change halfway through, right?
Yeah. And it did.
We found out about like it's got some special skills. One of them could do something like they weren't taking damage at all or something. So it can
stopping all of your spells.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it was absorbing our spells.
Terrible.
And then, I think we can take a lot more damage than you might expect.
Yeah, and we have like a few aces in the hole at most given times that we can use in a pinch.
Yeah, and if worst comes to worst, I can try and use like skeletons to hold back enemies while we escape. It would set me back days. But, and my friends.
It's going to be a real inconvenience, but I guess if you're going to die, then I'm prepared to at least look at it.
Didn't the Baron get knocked into a death state right at the end?
Yeah, he did.
Right at the very end, you got.
Yeah, I always go in death states.
Actually, I thought of another thing that I need everyone's help to remember is like we need to make sure we need to make sure every single party member has at least one potion on them at any given time because it could be the difference between life and death, and we've been like a bit slack.
And you don't have to drink at the moment it's in your hand either.
Yeah, that's a key. That's a key component. Is like have it as.
I drink anything that's. Yeah.
It's like just don't know. Just don't know.
Just don't do it.
Just on that point, I think Shannon does a really good job of being like trying to get everybody on the same plan.
Yeah. I think so as well.
And somebody, it's a work context thing, but somebody said the other day, like it's better to have everybody committed to a bad plan than to have everybody committed to different plans. Or different perfect plans.
Yeah, like a bad plan, and there's a possibility for it to succeed, right?
Yeah,
not so bad that it's you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the best chance of success, right? Rather than like having 4 different plans or even 2 different plans.
Yeah.
Too many plans is not good.
I think, I mean, I will run away from a fight for sure.
Yeah.
And in D&D, I will do that.
Has the Baron run away from any fights yet? I know you started
have we run away from any fights?
No, one fight, and that was in Lost Mine of Phandelver. You guys pissed off the necromancer with all his herd of zombies, and you guys ran away. You ran off.
Yeah,
but then you came back the next morning to fuck them up. So it was.
That was a time when the party was doing 2 separate things as well. That's probably what caused it. Like one people were diplomacy, and the other one was causing trouble, stabbing.
Yeah. We also ran away from Strahd.
Yes, you did. You ran away from Strahd once.
That feels like a given. Like,
I think as well. Like,
that was a great moment as well. That was such a cool
away
moment.
From something.
Next time Strahd shows up, I'm going to be like, "Come on, guys, let's kick his ass." I'm not backing down.
You kind of ran away from the giant tree Winter Splinter, but it was with a plan.
Right.
That was a good plan.
That was such a good plan.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Digging that hole.
Going back to characters, let's talk about the bard of the group, Bill. How are you feeling Bill's going, John? Are you enjoying Bill still?
I enjoy him mechanically. I am in a bit of a. I think I've said this before. I'm in a bit of a rut, and I have after a year of this, I haven't found a way out story-wise for him because I feel like it needs to be satisfying as well. I don't want to just be like real hand wavy,
right.
Which is maybe like a bit of a constraint I don't have to put on myself, but that's how I feel about it. But mechanically, I think he's super fun. I do tend to play the characters that are like optimized and min-maxed, and playing someone who's just like picking the spells that will help other people or help the party and trying to find interesting ways to use those spells is pretty cool. It's a bit of a different challenge. Like I dropped in Lost Mine, I used sleep a lot, and I dropped that ages ago, and so I've like if I read my spell list out, you'll be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't even know if sleep would be that effective now anywy. You're at the level where no matter what you roll, you might knock out one character and that's about it.
It does scale with spell level, so it gets pretty bonkers.
I think that's one of the spells that always has a good chance of fucking the team over. Seems to be
definitely
that sort of spell because it's dependent on HP, and we don't know how much their HP is. It seems like that.
I've got
educated guess, and
I haven't been using it because of that very reason.
Yeah.
I might just read my spells out, and then you guys can be like, "What the fuck are you up to?"
Okay, cool.
So my cantrips: friends, message, vicious mockery. That's the staple, vicious mockery. First level, cure wounds, dissonant whispers. Second level, calm emotions, I'll just add like some of them scale with levels, but I just won't repeat those.
Yeah.
Calm emotions, silence, suggestion, and zone of truth.
Have you used suggestion yet?
Yeah. I used it in Lost Minds. I don't think I've used it in this.
Zone of truth is good.
I've used it once, and it was real mediocre. It is a good spell. I just like
you used
I need
it
to
on
find
the
the right.
You used it on the guy
in the coffin
maker shop.
Coffin man.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty good. That was really good.
Fear, which is a really good spell. Haste, which is a really good spell. Hypnotic Pattern, which has done pretty well. I think that trivialized the last encounter in Lost Minds.
Yeah, that was great.
One that you guys don't know about yet is Revivify.
Ooh.
Is that if they die, you can bring them back in a minute? Within a minute?
Yeah. So I can, and it costs 1 diamond, which is what I sold basically all my life savings to buy a diamond. So Bill's walking around with a diamond and Revivify in his back pocket.
We needed that.
So that's good for that's really good for the team to know. Like I feel like that is something Bill would have let his friends know about. I know you wanted to. I know, sort of like. I don't know.
Didn't even tell us his real name. Is he going to tell us?
It's kind of like having a lottery ticket, though. Like people are like, "Don't tell your friends."
Well, he's not going to use it on himself, though, right? So it's the whole idea is to use it on someone.
Yeah. So I might just read it out. So you touch a creature that has died within the last minute. So it actually combos with Gentle Repose.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Yes.
that's good.
So that creature returns to life with 1 hit point. This spell can't return to life a creature that has died of old age, nor can it restore any missing body parts. So don't lose an arm, basically.
I don't have Gentle Repose on me at the moment.
But you can just swap it up, right?
Yeah, if we wanted to, yeah. But
I just like for me when I pick these, I can only swap 1 every level. So I don't do the mage or druid thing where you just pick your spells each day.
I can ready it though, prepare it.
And then my 2 4th level spells, one is Greater Invisibility, which I think we used recently, and Polymorph, which I used a couple of times. I used it once on Loris.
Super cool.
I really like Polymorph. I think it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
it's the kind of buff that's because it's persistent. It's super it feels much more interesting.
And you've got a really powerful as well. So you turned him into that giant ape or something, right?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
So what Polymorph does is spell transforms a creature you can see within range into a new form. An unwilling creature must make a Wisdom saving throw. So you could turn like a dragon into a cockroach technically. Blah blah blah. If it's a willing creature, they obviously don't save against it, but it's equal to the the new form can be any beast whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target's level. So we're level 8, so any CR8 monsters, not monsters, any CR8 beast.
Cool. Carlzone reckons it's a really good bard spell loadout. So, and this is the guy that DMs like 5 games a week, I think it is. So,
dang.
Yeah.
Has anyone come up with any other advice?
No, they've just sort of been dropping. Obviously, they had stuff about talking about whether or not people should be running from fights and stuff, but. No one's really dropping advice about characters that I can see. Big Cat said just about the running away. Characters have flaws, and one of those flaws might be running away. What makes them stay is what's the interesting part. Like, what if Morley might be afraid for his life? What would keep him there? What is the thing that would make him stay despite that urge to not want to be around? And how? Yeah, but
yeah, I think that's a good point. I had a question for John. Did you want to say something first?
Oh no, you go right ahead.
So what do you want Bill to be that you're having like struggling to figure out? Because you say you're like in a rut with him. What do you want him to? What would you prefer him to be like?
I think I'd prefer if he was Gil, to be honest.
Right. Well, Adam won't know who that is, but he was pretty fun.
Vaguely aware of the backstory.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I cornered Adam at work after that session and showed him the video.
Oh, nice.
And he's
nice.
like, I've got no context on this, so this is super weird.
Yeah.
He was really fun and flamboyant, so I can see how that would be fun to get back to. But like, I would also have that problem of not knowing, like, how could you resolve becoming more flamboyant again when
Can you do
I
that?
almost feel like it's like a this never happens in books or movies or anything, but I feel like he's had his story arc and now he's just like kind of still there.
John,
if that makes sense.
John, okay.
Yeah, no, I know.
John, at the end of Lost Mine, you ended up with an envelope with the seal of Gil on the envelope, and you threw it away. Your story wasn't over. You just never read the letter.
Did I throw it away?
Yeah. You were just like, I don't want anything to do with this guy, and you threw it away. And I'm like, fuck. So just know.
So John, it's all your fucking fault.
No. Just know that I still have plans for that.
Oh.
There is still something to come for Bill and his rival Gil.
Yeah, I mean, what I was referring to before about the hand waving thing is like we could just hand wave it and he could just be Gil again.
No, I think you should like. He's not actually Bill either. It turns out he's Phil.
Okay.
Phil, I was gonna go Will, but Phil's better.
What's the thing that's stopping Bill from being as charismatic? What is it simply only the voice? Or is it?
I mean, by his stat block, he's more charismatic than ever.
Yeah. So can you bring back that charisma and that sass and that kind of smarminess without the voice? Is that possible? Can you give him a different voice?
I don't know, because he was deliberately supposed to be like a kind of a low down, dirty cheat.
Yeah, right.
And that's why he was impersonating somebody else, you know.
Well, okay.
I guess he can.
Off on him.
How about this then? Just as an idea, you don't have to take it, but it might be something to run with. Is every time the crew needs Bill's charm, he becomes Gil.
I like that.
So he puts back on that veneer for when he's dealing with people, because he knows that veneer. He's been living that veneer for so long. And so he can still be that dirty Bill that everyone knows now. But
that sweaty old Bill.
That sweaty old dirty. I remember that voice you gave him when he's like, shit. Yeah, I'm Bill. That kind of like grubbier version. But then he can just turn on Gil when needed.
I love
everyone
that.
else
That's
would be
great.
in on it.
Yeah. And it's sort of every time you're dealing with something in Barovia, you're lying to everyone else, but your group that you are with knows that you're Bill.
Yeah, I do like that. I remember at the time, and this was like while it was still a bit raw and people were still a bit surprised and a bit distrustful, understandably so as well. But I floated that and everyone was like, I'm not really into that. But I guess we've had enough adventures together now.
I just think there's something about the fact that Bill is the charismatic one. He's the bard, and you should be in my head like the sparkly eyes and the smile and charm and it's hard to get that since you're not feeling it for your character. And if you can just like chuck back on that Gil voice and just jump back into it for these, I think you might enjoy that role playing aspect a bit more as well.
It kind of works,
I love
though,
that idea.
because like most performers, there are a lot of performers that are complete introverts that put on, they put it on when they need to. It's kind of cool.
And I've got a little something that I've talked to John about as well for Bill coming up at some point soon anyway. So
that is a great suggestion. Cool. I really like that.
I feel like we should tackle each character from a mechanical point and character arc point, because I think that's interesting.
That takes us on to the other sort of topic as well, which is origin story, which is Adam.
Do we want to talk about the Baron?
Yeah, let's talk about the Baron first, though.
Before we do that,
how are you enjoying the Baron?
Yeah, good.
He just rolled Thunderstep.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, on to the bloody origin stories.
Yeah, okay. You know how you got polymorph and it's like difficult to hit, John? If you're going to do it, you could always say, hey, I'm going to do polymorph like Whisper It or something, and then I'll try and hit them with Mind Sliver beforehand. It'll give you a bit of a help.
Ah, right.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
You know,
that is cool.
That sort of thing. If we have some big thing that we really want it to land.
Yeah. Because the thing about polymorph is when they take on the stats of the new creature. So if we make it a cockroach, it'll be like a 1 HP cockroach or whatever. But once that cockroach loses its 1 HP, it reverts to its original form.
To normal. Yeah.
So you don't just like kill the cockroach. Oh, we beat Strahd. Like he pops back out. He pops back out as Strahd. With I think extra damage converts over.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So it's like wild shape.
Yes, it's exactly like wild
shape. Drop a cockroach from space, and then as it lands, it takes on all the extra damage, that fall damage.
Well,
cockroaches actually can take a lot of damage, so
they survive a nuclear war.
Wind resistance and the weight of the cockroach is probably not a good example, but turn them into a goat or something.
Goat Strahd, I love it. That's the real curse of Strahd.
He was the goat.
Yeah.
Now he's just a goat.
Do we have a plan though? Like if you do polymorph a really strong creature, we just like, okay, it's a cockroach now for an hour. What do we? Let's leave. Or
that's a good question.
Do you turn them into a cat or something, and then you just put them in a cat carry cage and walk away?
Well, if it was Strahd, let's say we polymorphed him, would we then take the cockroach and put it in like running water and have a giant bunch of stakes hanging above him and all this sort of stuff ready to go as soon as he became Strahd again? He'd be like,
yeah, we do that. Sorted.
Get all of our vampire tactics.
Because you could like turn it into a weak animal and then just put it in a really bad spot and like have everyone set up in a circle around it as soon as it like turns back. Everyone hits it with all they've got.
Yeah.
If anybody like when you get the flying wild shape American, you could fly it up super duper high and drop the goat
into running water.
Into running water. Onto rocks, jagged rocks that flop into running water, and Morley's standing there with 2 stakes, like,
yes,
and a pair of pliers.
Yeah. Two pliers.
But it's 4 arms that he's got.
Yes, what are your thoughts on the Baron? How are you enjoying playing the Baron?
Yeah, no, I think he's really mechanically. I think he's coming into his own because now he can have skeletons. And a decent number of them.
Yeah, he seems like a beast to me as someone watching. Like the Baron just seems incredibly powerful. Like you've got such an awesome arsenal of spells, but I don't know whether that's like the way you've constructed your character or your fastidious study of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh well, how I come about the strong. I think wizard spells are just like that. You know, once you get a level 4 spell or something. They do damage, big damage, but no, I'm not fastidious. I know hardly anything about Dungeons and Dragons, unfortunately. Pretty much everyone watching this will know more than I do.
Oh, no one's watching anymore. That was weird. We just lost everyone.
I don't even know what this fucking game is. But yeah, I think he's, especially with the skeletons, I think there's like more tactics that we can have now. You know, like. We ended up doing like a shoot where the guy had to run past all the skeletons to get to me. It failed, but
it was a great idea, though. It was a great idea. It's like running the skeleton gauntlet, and they're all just like missing.
Yeah, all these opportunity attacks that he has to go past.
Yeah, that was cool.
So that's
can I
good.
just call... Sorry, I was just going to say, can I just call out a joke that Thunderflux made in the Twitch chat, which was, Kerr of Strahd, turn him into a dog.
There you go.
I thought that was good.
Thanks.
Shannon's like, no. What is the joke? Kerr.
Is that
Kerr
like
of
a
Strahd.
dog?
A Kerr's a dog. You uncultured
you
swine.
mangy cur.
Yeah.
Is it a type of dog or a word for a dog?
It's
It's like mongrel.
Yeah. It's
Is
like
it
an
an
old
archaic
English.
term
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
dog?
So hang on a minute. You're out there with your mad steez, and you're also like, oh, cur. Everyone knows cur is a term for a mongrel animal. Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having a broad vocabulary.
No, apology accepted.
My cur is snoring next to me. You can probably hear her.
I guess your mad steez is your vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I picked a bard.
As far as the character of Byram goes, I don't know. I think I've always been confused as to exactly what he's like. What kind of character he is in a way. I think I've got the basic thing. He's what he stands for is, rights for the dead and the living and things like that. And I do try and make him, I think he's cowardly, like he'll jump into bushes and stuff, but if there's some rights to be sticking up with, he only jumps in and ends up dying if he has to stick up for someone, or he thinks that someone is evil, or like with the witches in the windmill, and there was some kids that were going to get eaten. I think that's when he steps in.
Right.
And dies.
I think he does have the
he's got
highest
the
death
record,
count, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't feel like he's much for the bushes anymore. I haven't seen Byron jump back into the bushes.
He hides
these
behind
days.
skeletons now.
That's true.
I think that skeletons are really good. I think you have a very good head for strategy, and I think you use them to very good effect.
For sure.
Thank you.
Very frustrating.
Okay. I think we need them too, because we're all pretty squishy.
Yeah, we need a front line.
Yeah. Without the fighter, without a barbarian, you don't really have any sort of tanks at the moment. So that's what the skeletons have kind of.
They can absorb
which is
some
great.
hits, and
it's really good. Yeah. Did we want to talk about the idea of the origin story? So, Adam, you said that you'd been thinking of how cool it might be for everyone to sort of have a one-shot level 1 origin story.
I did.
Was that the extent of the thought, or did you have something in mind for like Morley?
I did have some very vague ideas. Do we want to? I don't want to, step on any toes here, but does anyone want to take a 5-minute recess?
Yeah, we can do that. We can take our typical 5, aka 15-minute break. Sure.
That'd be good.
Okay,
Just need
cool.
to get a drink.
Let's do it. Everyone should also go and grab a drink as well. Joe, we need to figure out the wind tunnel that you're in with your microphone. The gain is just like so high.
It's not the fridge. What the
No,
hell?
it is, because as soon as you start talking, or maybe it's not, but as soon as you start talking, then it's because Chrome boosts like the gain. So as soon as you're not talking, it goes to max.
Can you edit the input on Windows settings?
I think
like the input.
The problem is any Chrome or Chromium browser adjusts that in Windows, adjusts the Windows setting. So as soon as you're not talking, Joe, it adjusts, like Chrome just punches that up to like 100. And then when you start talking, the gain gets moved back down to a good level. So the thing you need to do is not use any sort of Chrome-based browser, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
which is basically none of them.
Yeah, they're basically all
like-
chromium now.
last time we sorted out, the other ones were giving me problems whenever I tried an alternative.
Yeah, we're using a new system now, so maybe it'll be different. I don't know.
Okay.
Something to try.
What's
Something
my
to think about
first
anyway.
pick? What's my first pick? I can log out and try something right now.
I don't even know what is and isn't a Chromium-based browser these days.
Firefox is Chrome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is?
I.e.
Edge is Chrome.
Then Edge is Chrome. Chrome is Chrome.
Safari?
Safari, I think, is Chrome.
Why is mine the only one doing it then?
Opera might not be.
Yeah. Weird. But I will just say, I just want to say we've got a couple of extra followers. So Hoss and Dirty20 Live, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Squish, for sharing with 100 bits as well. Do you know we're at like 881 followers on Twitch at the moment? That's so cool.
Whoa,
very close, very close to 900, which is very exciting.
Sorry, I was lying. Firefox is not Chromium based, apparently.
Okay. So maybe give
according to Mozilla.org.
I will download it and try it.
I thought it wasn't, but then it did change to Chromium, but no.
Oh.
Someone
in the chat is saying
FAQ.
Oh. Chromium's WebKit based, which is
Firefox is not
Safari.
based on Chromium, the open source browser project at the core of Google Chrome.
So maybe give that a go, because Chromium browsers play havoc with your gain. So I use things to get around it, using like NVIDIA Broadcast to do my voice, but then that's only for talking to you guys. I have just my microphone connected to OBS, so the viewers don't have my gain going all over the place. I have a weird setup.
The problem is that everything is targeted at Chromium. So if you don't use it, there's a lot of stuff, websites that don't work at all. Yeah,
so I don't even know if this one will work on Firefox.
Love that.
So something to test out.
I'll give it a try. I will give it a try.
I forgot to say hello to everyone at the start of, in the chat at the start of the session as well. So a lot of the usuals have joined us on this return after, how long has it been? It's been 6 weeks, I think. I think it's been 6 weeks since we last streamed. That was with just wrapping up amidst the ancient trees. So big thank you to everyone who's popped in after that break. The support you guys have given us and that excitement to come back is super cool. It's great seeing everyone. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Larp Kiwi says it's been too long, and I agree 100%. I'm itching to get back into some D&D, whatever we end up doing. Whether I think it'll be Curse of Strahd, I'm sure, but we just need to have a chat within our group to see who's in, who's out, and what's going on. I think it's going to be good, though. I think it's going to be pretty good. Has everyone got drinks? Everyone grabbed something?
Yeah.
What's
I'll
that?
tell you what, this is a banger. I discovered these a while ago.
What is it?
It's a sparkling water with a hint of lime, and it doesn't sound like much, but it's
No, it sounds great.
nice.
We had
Can pay it no higher compliment than that.
We got now that we're talking, let's sparkling water chat now. We got the worst sparkling water last week. Was it last week, Joe?
Yeah.
It was
How can you fuck up water?
It was the mildest sparkle I have ever experienced. It was like someone had given it one push of the old soda stream, and that's about it. It was terrible.
Didn't even make it to the fart sound.
No,
I've got a
fart.
soda stream.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a good jumping off point, actually. Do people like this sparkling water like it's just like an assault on your tongue?
I want it to fuck me up.
Yeah, me too. The
I want to be
fizzier the better, right?
I want to be a little afraid of what it's going to do.
Super fizzy.
Yeah.
Super fizzy. Super cold.
I want to do that thing.
I can't think of anyone but me.
I want to do that thing where you take a mouthful and then you're like, because you know it's going to come out as a massive burp, and you're like, perfect, that's great.
That's not too far.
I don't know that, I'm afraid. I don't walk around belching like I'm from the 14th century.
What? I thought every guy
No,
projected.
they don't.
I love it.
Thank you,
Everyone
Adam.
walked around loudly shitting their pants. That was what people do.
You got to really get it from like the gut, and then like really
No,
project
no.
it. And if you can hit like a good pose at the same time, that's the ideal.
No. Strong disagree.
You're not living.
I'm
You're not
gonna
living.
I'm going to try
This is a
Safari.
soul stream ad.
Oh, Joe's disappeared. I think she must be trying Firefox. Jackalope is disappearing. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen you, Jackalope. So, yeah, nice to see you. What else is going on? Who the hell drinks sparkling water, says Miserable.
Oh, fuck you. That's what I say to that.
Carl Zone says,
I hate to say it, but
Carl Zone says, I like my sparkling water like I like my cats. I hate cats.
That's good.
sparkling or still?
That's fantastic.
I didn't like sparkling water for a long time either, right? But then I grew up. I think it's for a refined palate. Sparkling water.
Do any of you watch or listen to James Acaster's and Ed Gamble's
Off menu.
food podcast
good.
Off Menu?
Yeah.
One of the so basically the concept is they get a celebrity guest on and they tell them their dream menu, and one of the first questions is sparkling or still, and it's always like this way longer conversation about still or sparkling than you could ever imagine.
Adam, someone said, did you grow up or did you grow old?
Both. And
Trying to
proudly.
bring back those dead.
Oh, sorry,
taste
I'm not
buds.
Peter Pan. Bloody the boy who Benjamin buttoned or whatever.
That's it. That was the movie.
Yeah.
The boy who Benjamin
boy.
buttoned.
I like that it's a verb.
Yeah.
Benjamin buttoned your way into the fucking soda stream.
Yeah, I did grow up.
Has
What,
my
have you
hissing
tried?
in my microphone stopped?
Yeah.
Chance?
Yeah, it has. Just make sure it's close. I feel like it's still
Okay.
not close to you.
What,
Okay.
Are you using Firefox now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I'm
It's
using
way better.
Opera.
Okay.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
We hope
good.
it works.
All right, should we get back into the chat? Are we ready to go? Are we all ready and refreshed?
Well, we'll stop this chat and get back into the chat.
yeah. Well, we've finished our 5-minute break, whatever that was.
Yeah. Was I talking too much before? I felt like I was talking too much before.
Nope.
That was decisive. Thank you.
Shut up.
Chat,
No.
was Joe talking too much?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Let's put a poll up. Is Joe talking too
No.
much?
This is
It was
bullying.
good. It was good
It's a hate
chat.
crime.
It was good chat, Joe.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. It's fine. It's all right.
Let us continue the.
Okay.
Don't downgrade me as you go.
Could be better.
It could be. It's all right.
Origin stories.
Yes. Go. Adam,
Yeah.
talk to
So,
us. Talk to us about your
stories?
idea.
Oh,
well, I thought like all of these characters are adventurers that are like have been adventuring for some time, right? And they've got like often some backstory that contributes to their character. I thought like, oh, it'd be really cool to play out some of like when I first built this character, I talked to you, Reagan, about like some of the things that Morley had done that had made him who he was and stuff. And I was like, oh, some of that would be a really cool basis for like a legit, like really short adventure. And I thought, well, everyone would probably love like, because everyone thinks like me, everyone would love a crack at like playing out a bit of backstory. Like I felt like everyone would have some like real fertile ground in there for like a little adventure. I thought that would be really cool to find out more about everyone's characters before they met up, and it would give everyone else a chance to play like a totally random character. You know, you're only even going to be playing that character once, and the stakes are obviously a lot lower. Who knows? I might even stick around for a brawl.
Yeah, I think that's
it
a
would be
really cool idea.
Yeah, I love the idea. It was
And also,
it was something that I've been wanting to find a way. One of the things I was thinking earlier, without it being like origin story, was how could we just fit one shots into what we're doing anyway? What would be the best format for that? I was thinking, is there a way for us to have? Again, it's a terrible idea when you say it out loud, but like a dream sequence that you play out as a one shot. but then you're doing that whole it was all a dream and that sucks. But I love the idea of jumping into these characters' backstories, because I've heard of all of your characters and things that have led to their being at the start of Lost Mine of Phandelver, and I've dealt with you, Adam, with Morley, like what he did at the start, and I think it'd be great. I love the idea of we take Morley, for example, and then the other three each create new characters. We work together to find characters that would fit, and then I work with you, say, Adam, to figure out what is the overarching story, but then I can fit some more stuff in. What were you going to say, John?
I think there are like some compromises, but
yeah,
because you would have to sort of have some input on the narrative. Unlike the DM who normally runs everything, he'd have to defer to sort of some of your judgments, which I think is fine and well. But I think what is also cool is like if other players came in, like they're kind of enriching the backstory, because like they're fleshing it out just by being there as like living elements of the story, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
I was talking with Joe about the possibility of like Mirrorkin's. What would Mirrorkin's origin story look like, and what might other characters might be there? Does it matter if they survive it or not? Does it matter? Like, can there be a moment where Mirrokin and I have decided, or Joe and I have decided, that Mirrorkin's going to be the only one that really survives this story? Is that part of it or not? That kind of thing as well could be interesting.
Yeah.
And with D&D, it always goes wrong. Right? So you plan everything, and then it unexpected happens, and that probably could make it, give it a whole new, unexpected twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I wanted to talk about my character development, but I want to make sure I do it in turn. So, you DM me.
Wait, what?
Tell me what to do. Be the master of ceremonies, because I do want to talk about, like, we talked about the mechanics, but I also want to talk about my character's arc, so to speak.
Do you want to reveal your character's arc today, now?
No, that's not... I wanted to talk about it in a vague sense, but I want to have the right time to do it.
Well, like I said, we'll start with, I think, Morley. With it being sort of Adam being the one that pitched it, I'd be really keen to... how much do you want to talk about Morley's potential one-shot if we do it? How much of that, your idea, would you like to disclose now versus just one-on-one with me, maybe?
I guess maybe just like the setting, which is all I've got. And I think, like, for me, like, the setting is like a big part of what makes a story or an adventure quite cool. And obviously my character has a well-documented history on the water, and it would be cool to kind of play out a one-shot where that was like a big part of it. So either a port town or on a boat or on a voyage or, whatever it might be. But definitely I think the chance to kind of, as much as like I know it's like very depressing and grim for the characters, like Barovia is quite hard to be constantly in as a player, and does psychologically like kind of wear you down. So it'd be cool to have a break from that, and like, I really, that's as far as I've gotten, is like, it'd be cool to set it like many years before, and like I've talked about with you some of the things of like his backstory, and be like, let's flesh out maybe this little chunk in this cool setting, and that was it.
Can I just ask everyone a question? Is the setting of Barovia putting people off playing? Is it getting to people? Because it is dark, and it's like,
I think it
consistently beating you down.
I think it's definitely very draining, but I feel this necessity. I feel like it's necessary to wind up the campaign. Like, I feel like it needs to have a satisfying conclusion.
Do you think it will have a satisfying conclusion with it being Barovia?
Maybe not.
No, not anymore.
Why do we bother?
Absolutely.
But yeah, Adam, I agree. I would love to take steps away to bring back some of that lightness that like can be in Faerun, where we've got comical characters at the port, and the sun's out, and it's nice and warm or something. I don't know, just like something different.
Real role playing.
Yeah.
Imagine you could go outside and talk to people.
With wolves tracking your every move at night.
I think Baron is probably the one character I don't have much of an understanding of his earlier time. Would you have a story that you'd want to tell? Like how he got into wizardry?
I think it would be probably revolving something around his rich family or something, and him. Maybe they're like SodaStream magnates.
Perfect.
They've made all their money from sparkling water.
Given a lot of thought.
This is so long. This is all just off the top of your head, Shannon. This is amazing.
No. It's in my book.
And they have Kit Kats and Bigfoot. I don't know, whatever the fuck.
They own a Dyson factory for fans. I think it would have to be something that sets him off to be like, okay, yes, I do want to stand up for the rights of people and the rights of the dead and stuff. I think I've already sorted out that he's in cafes and stuff, so maybe people could be playing the people in the cafe, like where they go and have a conversation.
Oh. Role-playing going to a cafe sounds pretty great right now, I must say.
And I don't know what bad thing would happen. It'd have to have something to do with someone that's undead, I think.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's got the hots for a dead lady.
Healthy?
Again.
Again.
Yeah.
Or like he's reading a book, you go, I wish I lived in this time or something. He's a romantic. He thinks things should be different. But I don't know how you would turn that into a venture.
I feel like you would need to flesh out his family. Like there'd have to be something like rotten within his family to make him leave, right?
Yeah, like the reason he went off on adventure, right?
Yeah, they would be exploiting people, probably. And that's why
Harry.
What? Yes. Yeah, and undead Megan.
Dead Megan.
Dead Megan. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, do that.
I don't know if it's as strong a hook as he was reading a book.
In the cafe.
Yeah. He was just taking it easy, chilling like a villain.
I know this is a fantasy setting, but don't go too wild.
Yeah, and we do want the one
just
shot.
Didn't like his coffee that day.
The end.
Drove him to a life of adventure.
It's going to be about a 3 to 5 minute campaign. It'll be great.
He closes his book and goes, you know what? I'm going to leave this town.
I'm out of
the road.
He does.
And thus the adventure began.
I think he would have read some pamphlets that someone handed out.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe one of you guys could hand out pamphlets.
How did he get wizarding powers?
Yeah.
I think he's just privileged and got to go to university and everything like that and study. And his parents probably like, look, wizarding is not a business. You're not going to make any kind of money being a wizard, and come into the SodaStream business with me. Take over the business. And he was like, no, I want to learn the arts.
So wizardry is like the arts.
Yeah,
so he's an art school kid.
Fucking around. He's writing poetry and stuff.
Egalitarian thinking, like.
Yeah.
So instantly,
he's mucking around.
I'm instantly thinking of like a one-shots at a wizarding school, basically, and you guys are all playing as wizarding NP other players.
No, I reckon it should revolve around the cafe for sure.
I mean, like Friends, like an episode of Friends. You're all at Central Park or Central Perk.
Yes. Yeah. No, like a cafe, like a French
now you're
Parisian
talking.
cafe. So there'd be like a French. what's the friend's character?
Maybe he's
Joey. French Chandler.
Could
you be any more wizard lad?
Okay, so I've still got no idea what to do for the Baron, so that's good.
uni, like a wizarding uni school. Would be
No, I
pretty cool,
don't, because I think he would go to some lectures and stuff, but he wouldn't actually apply himself too much.
But the thing I like about that is that you get these. That's one of those times where you become more socially aware of like things that are going on that are bad. And I imagine maybe there's like a group of kids in that school, and the Baron really likes one of the girls that's in that group or something, who's really into dead rights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost feeling more like a rom-com than a dramatic thing. And maybe she's undead.
Zero rolling of dice, no combat,
The
just
Undead Poet Society.
Exactly.
I think he would be reading a book that's by some lady, and like a literal lady.
Yeah. Miserable said maybe he wasn't even reading a book. Maybe he was just really wild and looking at the pictures.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's actually illiterate. And
he's holding the book upside down.
Because you got to have some sort of big revelation.
Turn his character into a moron, a bubbling fool.
He's got like a twin intelligence, but he only uses it to cover for his illiteracy.
That's the montage. Is him like reading this book furiously, and someone comes in and like turns the book upside down, or like to the correct way.
Okay, so I'm loving everything I'm hearing, but what's the one shot? What is the one
what
shot?
we're lacking. We need an antagonist.
There needs to be an antagonist, right?
We do need an antagonist. It'll probably.
I think he should have a dad who sucks. That's
definitely has a dad that sucks, or
Joey living.
a granddad even.
Living supremacy.
Living supremacists.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, maybe I'd say that he hangs out in a.
I know, cafe with a book. Yeah.
No.
We're really getting somewhere now.
I was going to say he goes to the graveyard to read poetry with his friends.
So right, the settings changed. Cool.
Meet you at the cemetery gates, like the Smiths song, and then he sees some people like
cameo.
Someone smashing gravestones or something, like some, because they're going to sell them for capitalists. I'm onto it. We got it. Capitalism.
So, again, I'm loving everything. What is it? What's the one shot? What is the?
You heard it.
I feel like Adam got off the hook easy in comparison, to be fair.
So young.
He just said something with Morley and you're like, love it.
Look, he said
what is it?
No, to be fair, I know, like, Adam's spoken to me about stories of Morley's past.
I've actually, okay.
So he said, like, port adventure on a boat. I'm like, I know where you're going because I know the stories.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. They're going to steamroll the local cemetery to turn into a SodaStream factory. His family is running this, and that's what sets him off. I don't know if he has to fight against his family.
And he's part of a student group of activists, and something goes horribly wrong.
It's like one of those things where they're going to bulldoze your local hangout and turn into a car park, or like a big, those 80s movies where the real estate guy moves in. And we have to, teenagers have to fight him.
Would his parents be any kind of adventurers, or are you just going to like do spells and swords against just peasants with 5 HP?
No, they wouldn't fight themselves. They would be sending in the... Oh, that's a moral quandary. I have to fight the poor proletariat.
Certainly,
let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm not coming up with exactly the...
Write the whole thing, Shannon, or you're a failure.
Write it live, right now.
Okay, we're going. We're playing now.
I guess.
And roll for initiative.
Aaron's like, I'm for you. I'm for workers' rights. Don't hit me.
It's
But I'm also for the cemetery.
It's interesting because I know American's got like one of those sad backstories, and I know Morley's got a sad moment in his backstory. That's these moments that you can build something on, and I don't know what that moment,
And I have nothing. Well, I deliberately did not have a sad story. I wanted it to be a privileged.
We can work with that.
But where he.
There will be a cafe in a book. I guarantee. I promise you.
Yeah, I guess he's privileged, but he kind of knows it, but also there's no really realizing it. But now he's gone out into the world. He's writing letters back to his cafe people and he saw Fandolin and things like that. So
yeah, they don't have to be sad stories.
He can't end his one shot being like full revelation, because then your character's set.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's just the idea of there needs to be a reason that he's decided to go off adventuring. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to be a sad story. We can do something fun with it for sure.
I'd say he'd probably in a bender and then he winds up.
That's fine as well.
It's like, hello. I can't get home.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. John, what about Bill? What have you had any sort of origin story ideas or thoughts for Bill, or a story in his past that you'd want to tell or flesh out via a one shot?
I was thinking about this while we were talking before, because I think I've shared with you his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like him becoming Gil.
Oh, he's got a book in a cafe.
Yeah, he's in a cafe. Well,
hey.
there's a bit of.
And Reagan's like, oh my god, I love it. There's so many ways this can go. This is so good.
Let's move on. That sounds like a great adventure.
Say no more. We've got it.
Okay, but now we know exactly everything.
He was kind of sold into servitude. So into a family of, I think they're rich elves actually. And they're somewhere where slavery, like they're far enough, like their kingdom slavery is okay, or slavery is legal, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's a very fun. It's not a romp in a cafe kind of story.
Not everything is.
So maybe like after he makes his way out of there, he's like, he kind of has picked up a little bit of skill from Gil, who he learned barding, but learned some stees from. But he's kind of building on that and having I don't know, very low level adventures, like trying to help people, or trying to. Oh no, he wouldn't be helping people. He'd be trying to grift a living, I think.
So it won't be like making the bed for the owners of the manor and stuff like that. One shot tidying.
He might have to read some of them in my book.
Right. I like it. I think there's something there with especially with the idea that we know Bill ends up taking the kind of name and personality of Gil and sort of venturing out. There's definitely a story there.
What about we all play as members of the band? We can be in Gil's band.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
That's pretty good.
But it'd be like it would be like a motley crew of various scumbags, you know.
Crew.
It would be exactly like
it would be
Motley
Motley
Crue.
Crue.
Tommy Lee.
You can't pick him. He's the only one I know. Yeah, we'll play as Motley Crue. No, a various ragtag bunch of ne'er-do-wells. Because that would fit in with the backstory of someone who feels they have to deceive to get by.
Yeah, I like that
as an idea.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you what to do.
Oh my God.
Don't do that if you don't like it.
We could just do like
Gil and the Jets or something.
Oh, you could come up with a great band name.
We can do like a band off, like a playoff, a rock off challenge or something.
Yeah.
School of Rock. We need to go to Barron's University and School of Rock that shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
Battle
the
of the bands.
I like the idea of finding like a movie genre for each of these one shots and trying to figure out the best kind of genre to fit each one. Yeah.
I might have Breakfast Club.
You probably do have Breakfast Club.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's cool.
Awesome.
Cool. How about you, Joe?
Yours is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I was going to say, maybe yours is The Room.
The Room.
One of my favorites.
And we could all just do John Hughes stuff.
Yeah.
Those haven't all aged well, I'm just warning you.
American.
Yeah, I feel like I fell into like the first time player trap of having like a dark backstory, and then I don't know if I'm like that into it. Like I feel like I've kind of alluded to it in like role play, and then I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of not feeling this, and kind of like it didn't seem to work for me. Do you know what I mean?
No. What?
Like,
you don't want a dark backstory?
Yeah, no, it's not that I don't want one. I still think it's a cool idea, but I have found like acting all haunted as a character is fun for about 1 minute, especially if no one else is like, what's wrong with you? And you're like, oh, yes, now's my time to reveal my haunting backstory. So like, it's kind of not the vibe of our stream anyway. So I'm kind of like, oh, maybe lighten it up a little. I don't know.
Is it like an albatross around the neck? Like you feel like you're always encumbered by like having to hold to something?
Yeah, like I've definitely like made my character more cheerful over time, which is fine because I think that's good, and I like that, and it's like part of having like a good crew or whatever, is that like your character's naturally going to be happier over time. But yeah, like I definitely had like the haunted kind of hermit backstory of like, I've exiled myself from society kind of thing, and now I'm like, it's kind of a bummer.
But I personally have enjoyed it because like you started the character not trusting anyone, not really wanting to be around anyone, and has slowly warmed up to everybody that you're traveling with, and it's 3 years on the roads with the same people, and now you're just a bit nicer and happier. Like you found some of that.
And your spider.
And you got your own spider.
I've got a spider now.
Yeah, I really like the story that American has.
But I'll tell you what I think would be really cool about it is the fact that it would be in the Arborean Plain or whatever it's called. So it's like the Feywilds, which is like a totally fantastical setting of like shifting mercurial weather and completely different society, which is cool, quite fantastical, quite fun.
Personally, just knowing what I know about your character and what has happened there's been a moment in both of the stories so far that is tied in with American's background. And I think it would be awesome to reveal that background in a one shot,
Yeah, I guess like one of my questions is like, I'm not sure how like you would get closure on that at any point. Yeah.
It's really the start of your character though, isn't it? Really, rather than closing.
I'm thinking like in the ongoing campaign, because I'm circling back around to like our current characters' arcs, and I'm like, I don't really know if that can really be
it can never return to
arc in a satisfying way, especially if you don't want to get into like dreary role play of everyone like going to therapy together. Not that I would ever want to do that, but you know what I mean? Like, we're not that kind of dramatic, like soul-searching kind of vibe.
Aren't we?
I don't know, all the dick jokes kind of like bring it to a different level.
They're just they're just covering for our insecurities.
So my question for everyone is like, how do you kind of like grow a character from a dark past in a light-hearted manner? That's my question for everyone at large.
But you already have, though. Haven't you?
Oh, maybe I have.
And you just get
That's very deep.
And we've seen little snippets of that affecting her, like with Glass stuff and what he did to Duran. Like that was, that kind of touched a little bit into your backstory with the.
What did he do to Duran?
He promised. No, that was Sildar that had with the knees. He promised because you delivered Glass stuff to Duran, and Duran was like, "Okay, cool, I'll take him away." And instead, he freed him because Glass stuff promised to bring back his best friend who had been killed. And then you had this kind of tie-in with recently with the guy that brought the kid back to life in Kretsk. That's also kind of like tying into that whole promising to bring back or bringing back someone from the dead.
The abbot.
The abbot, yeah. So it's definitely it's happenstance that the abbot that happened to have that, but I kind of factioned that moment between Duran and Glassstaff, and I trust me, I've got more planned for American as well. It's just a matter of it occurring, being at the right place.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Barovia is a depressing kind of like dour setting at the best of times, and it's like, maybe we can just like have more lighthearted moments with the characters than like double down on that.
Oh, is it going to be even darker?
Well, that's why I'm just kind of, I was just wanting to see what people thought about it.
I think that's cool though. Like you get to be the star of your own backstory and you get to set the tone. So it's not like you're going to be like, I can't believe what we've all witnessed, and I'm going to be like, "Oh, Vulture Road, remember that,
What?
I mean, that's 100% what's going to happen. But anyway,
Yeah. We'll just make a mockery of all of our backstories.
every single one of them.
I'm just going to jump on it.
Anyway, I think there's a lot of like cool stuff that could be part of the backstory just based on the setting. So yeah, I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just my very deep question for you all, based in like role playing questions.
Yeah, and I'm pretty keen to see if our viewers would even be interested in seeing some of these one shots as well, or if it's just kind of like a selfish thing that we've got that of wanting to see and hear a little personal story.
Players.
As a DM, I would love to do these. It'd be awesome.
Hear me out though. What if we did a character creation session where we did the randomized character generator for each one shot?
Do we want random
Characters?
characters?
Well, maybe like you have veto power over they're too ridiculous, but
are you talking about just a completely separate thing where one shot where everyone has random characters or random characters in these backstories?
Yeah, and like for each backstory, maybe we could do random character generator for the supporting cast.
As long as it fit in. Like I would want whoever's. So if we were doing American story, I would want you to be in control of whether you're happy with the supporting cast. Yeah,
but would you say, okay, we need a butler, we need a manager, and we need
cafe owner,
we need a barista.
Yeah, barista, and we need someone that makes pamphlets. Go.
Yeah, I don't know. Or you could do the opposite, and you could roll the character and then go, oh yeah, this fits into the butler. We'll do this person can be the butler. Yeah. It could be fun. It was fun when we did it for Call of Cthulhu. That's
for sure. I'm down for that as long as they all fit. Like I think we said, if we're fitting yours into like the Feywild, does that lock us down? If it's being set in the Feywild, does that mean we need to make sure we only have elves?
Possibly. Yeah, I have to do more research on the setting.
How weird is the Feywild? It's not a setup for a show.
It's a different plane of existence. So I think
is it like everything's shifting all the time? Is there solid ground?
I think there's like solid ground and everything. It's more just like their plane of reality is like just different in terms of the way it operates. And I think it would still be like grounded in like normal physics and stuff, though.
Mm. It just looks weird.
Trees.
Colors are all
It's just very mysterious.
Right.
Yeah.
I played
Just imagine
one shot with Ison, and it was set in like the chaotic realm, and it was all geared around like, the realm behaved in a certain way, which was hugely unpredictable. There was a lot of D100 rolling from Brad.
Well,
yeah, I thought that would be cool for the Feywild of like, because they have constantly changing weather. So you could be rolling dice for what the weather is at any given moment. Yeah, it's like imagine Wellington, but a little bit more magical.
Miserable in the chat just said, luckily there is a new Feywild book coming.
Yeah, that's the next one coming out. Yeah. The next
What's it called?
campaign.
American in the Feywild.
Faye's gone wild.
What is it called? It's their next big book, but I can't remember what it's called. Beyond the Witchlight. Yeah, that's the one.
Witchlight.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
And going beyond it.
Not even just in it, beyond it.
You don't even get to see it. You've way
You've already
beyond
gone past it.
But it sounds like everyone's keen, and the chat are saying that they'd be keen to watch this kind of thing as well. It is the kind of thing that would take a lot of prep, a hell of a lot of prep, but we can definitely start working on some ones. How do we figure out who goes first?
Roll a d20.
Most cafes.
I mean, like Baron's is bottom of the barrel, so it's fine. No.
Oh, that's so mean. Less roast.
Let's roll a d20 for it.
No, I mean,
let's do it right now.
I would 100% find a cool way to make sure
I get advantage
for sure. Yeah, okay. Everyone roll a d20. I'll make some notes.
I have to log into the thing. Oh wait, I'll just do it.
How do I roll dice?
You can literally go to Google and type "roll a d20" and it will.
Are we doing it on D&D Beyond?
Oh, I rolled. What?
A 34?
I rolled a 22 out of 20. Huh?
What? What kind of dice are you using?
Oh, it adds some more.
Does D&D Beyond have a dice roll?
Here we go.
Yes, it does.
I rolled a
Bottom
3.
left. I rolled an 8.
How the fuck do I roll on this?
Well, look at this technology. Is that a mouse?
What?
Oh, how do I?
I can see it. Oh, he's rolled it.
Roll that black dice on the black mouse pad.
Is that a D? That's not a D20, is it? What?
Yes, it is.
It is. It's a 9.
Okay.
A D21. A 9.
Some big rolls here, guys.
Nice keyboard.
Wee. Oh, that looks a bit like dodgy angle.
Okay, so who hasn't rolled?
Bill? John, did you roll?
I got a 1.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, that means you don't get one. Stink.
Critical
You have to
fail.
go first.
Okay, give us
That's,
some 3.
so that is Bill with a 1, American with a 3, Baron with an 8, and Morley with a 9.
Nice.
All below 10.
All below 10. So we will start with
Rolls continue, baby.
with a Morley origin story.
I thought I'd
That's so
done it wrong
fun.
because I was like, oh, it rolled a 2 on the next one. I was like, this is clearly not right. And then I clicked it again and it rolled a 17. So I just rolled a 1, a 2, and then a 17.
Actually, Miserable in the chat rolled 12, so whatever character he got, we'll...
He's in.
He's in. We'll do
I can't wait to find out his backstory.
Okay,
And
cool.
then it's miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 20. It's a B on
Well,
D&D Beyond.
Adam, we can chat and figure out what we want to do.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to have
awesome.
an adventure on the high seas.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That's a good setting.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Good.
Not anywhere near as. It's
I wonder
not as
if
good
I
as
should-
the coffee shop.
Yeah, it's
Are
not
there
like
any-
at the library or something.
Are there any modules that are based on? It's like Is it Saltmarsh? Is that the one on the ocean?
Yeah, that's an oceany one.
Maybe I should just buy that just to help give me some inspiration and some maps and shit that we can use as well. That could be fun.
Oh.
Cool. I'll have a think about that.
Financial outlay.
Man, you got to
Yeah, for a one shot, be like, I need to buy an entire book.
Spend
just for this
$1,000.
one shot.
One with like 13
any
adventures in it or something.
I like how you guys have, like a module might cost like $1,000. It's like, how much is a banana? Like $10? So yeah, it'll be fine. I think it'll be cool. Plus, I love having more D&D content anyway, so that's cool. All right, we're getting close to 10. What we'll do, we've decided we will do a Morley origin story first. I think every time we do one, we will re-roll the D20s to see who's next.
How old is it? Is it when he's 12?
It's just his birth
Better
story.
not be.
No.
His birth is from birth till when he gets to Barovia. This is a long.
Why would we re-roll the order every time, though?
He knew
Initiative. You re-roll initiative every fight, don't you? What are you talking about? It's all D&D rules.
Is it going to have Bill in it as a kid?
Oh shit!
As they knew each other.
Depends on the story, right? Depends on the story he wants to tell.
Yeah, and I think that would kind of be unfair to John as well. Like
everyone gets a cool new character except John, the one that you're not
you have to play your character, but the way I say.
Yeah, and you know how you're not enjoying it? It doesn't matter.
I would
doing
love to play. Can I please play plucky young Bill before his soul gets destroyed?
I have a question.
Now that I know you want it, I'm now.
Never mind.
Well, it doesn't.
I'm excited.
I'll play Bill.
I'm back in, baby.
Blackie.
All right, well, let's start. Oh, Joe, what? Yeah.
Would we have to play all level 1 characters?
Yes. Yeah. Unless
I think that's good.
Unless for any reason Adam wants there to be a character that is not level 1, but I'd say like he might have like a mentor.
Yeah, like the
or
character
something.
that outshines him in every way. I'll play that one.
I want Joe to be like my mum, who's a level 20 kick-ass warrior, and I'm a bumbling idiot. Also, I'm developmentally challenged and don't speak at all in this.
All right.
Yeah, I want
just
it to
in
be
like
the
a
journey
baby
of my
pack.
mum. That's Joe teaching me how to speak. I don't. At that point, it's like just go to therapy, man.
Nobody's changed.
Yeah.
It's like he should have been out of these by now, but oh well.
He's 12.
Actually, Adam, your whole backstory before Barovia, so you can do anything up to level 5 maybe if you wanted one. So have a think about where you'd want to set yours, I guess.
I will.
Yeah. Let's start wrapping up unless anyone else has got something else to chat about. What I wanted to chat about is obviously where we're going to be going with Getting Dicey in the future. We've got Shannon's been working really hard on an awesome new a brand look for Getting Dicey, which I think looks fantastic. There's been obviously the thumbnails for our Amidst the Ancient Trees has been updated with that new look. And if you're a Patreon or a supporter in the Discord, there's been a look at it as well. Shannon, did you want to talk about what you're trying to do with it, or should we just wait for the grand reveal?
Just wait.
Just wait. Cool. It looks fantastic. It's going to be.
I don't think it's far off either.
It is looking.
It looks sick.
Yeah. And there's some very, very cool little Easter eggs being added to it at the moment, which looks super cool. The other thing that I'm trying to do, I made a Patreon post yesterday, I think it was, about interacting with the stream. So obviously at the moment when we sit down and when we start playing, we don't really interact much with the chat because we're also recording the podcast as we go. We talk to you in the middle of the session and the start and the end, but we kind of in general leave it no interactions. But Twitch has these things called channel points that keep accruing, and you've I think Random Origins was asking earlier how many points people have, and people have like 38,000 of these things because there's just nothing to spend them on. So what I really wanted to do, after a chat with Shannon, kind of like sparked an idea of like collectible Getting Dicey cards. So a system where you can spend your points unlocking a card, and you collect all the cards in the series, and you can have a look at them in high quality, look at your collection as it grows. And then once we can get that going, if you get multiple versions of a card, you can trade it up to a better version of that card. So you can get like a worn version of the card at first, maybe up to a mint version of the card, up to a shiny or a foil version of a card. And we've got Random Origins is working really hard on getting something working at the moment. It's just a prototype, so I'll just bring up what that is looking like at the moment for those watching the stream. So it's kind of just a quick look at what this is. All using Twitch's APIs and trying to hook it into the channel points system, which seems to be working for them at the moment. And this is what it might look like when you're looking at your collection of cards that you've unlocked so far. And it might allow us to have little seasons or runs of cards as well. So it's just like a little idea that I thought is kind of a really cool idea to reward people for interacting with us and talking in chat and spending time with us live, and also giving you a reason to accrue and spend those points. So I think it's looking really cool. Obviously, the biggest thing is getting it functioning, and then we need to build some fancy new cards and spend some.
And Random Origins, let's just say he's a genius.
Yeah, dude, he's been putting in a lot of awesome work at the moment and learning a lot about how Twitch's APIs work to get this kind of stuff going. And it looks like we'll eventually be able to set like rarity for the cards and stuff as well. So we can have special cards that are a bit harder to get and things like that. Cool. So I'm really there's already a sort of a third party card system out there. But it just doesn't do what I want to do. It doesn't look how I want it to look. You have to use their design, and it just kind of looks a bit crap. But not only that, but your viewers have to sign up with that service as well. I wanted something that you guys don't have to do a damn thing other than click a button to unlock a new card to spend your thing. And then over our... at the moment, you know, when we're playing, you've got like a D&D Beyond overlay where you can click it and look at our character HP and stats and stuff. Hopefully we'll have it so it just adds a little icon that you can click on and you can take a look at the cards that you've unlocked. So it's a really cool system that I'm assuming once it's built, Random will 100% want to monetize this and sell it to other streamers. But it's
very cool.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Really, like FIFA Ultimate, like you do a thing and like you get your card out and you see what your card is, or do you buy a specific? Okay.
No, random card. So you'll spend points and you'll unlock just a completely random card, and it'll have what number of the set that card is.
Oh, it's like Batman chewing gum and Ninja Turtle chewing gum.
That's exactly it. That is the whole idea.
I was talking about
behind
Batman chewing gum. I had almost two entire sets. I was just missing one card.
Yeah,
I had this might sound depressing maybe on the surface, but I had just started collecting like the Batman Returns cards, and like I got like 10 of them or something, and then my dad came home and he was like, I got the whole set for you, and like plonked the whole thing down and it just ruined the whole thing.
How did he do that?
He was a liquor rep. He called on a bunch of places, and someone he knew had like just ripped through like tons and tons and tons of packs and got like multiple whole full sets, and then he just like, here's the full set. And I was like,
this sounds like a Morley origin story.
But yeah, I wanted to capture that idea of those bubblegum cards, and I think we'll get it. I think it's going to be really awesome once it's all up and running. Like I said, the prototype is already looking really good.
We need like Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
They were big as well.
Now, obviously, the biggest thing is obviously getting cards designed.
I was going to say we need like to get like different illustration series.
Yeah.
And like get different versions of the characters.
Yeah, and so when people say, you know, what is something
I'll do a crap. I'm not good at drawing, but I can do a crappy set, and make them super rare so that people will want them. But I'm not like Illustrator level.
People are already saying they want like a foil card of Strahd, and they want a Billy Billy Goblin and stuff like that. And I was thinking like Brain on a Rope from the first season is something as well. Just like little moments or characters and stuff like that. Something memorable.
And we could have each of the characters doing this, like they're like subscribe at us.
Random Origins just said he just added the ability to flip them so you can have a look at the back of the card during just while he's been watching. He just got that sorted as well. So honestly, I'm really excited about this. I hope we can get it to a point where it's exactly what I'm wanting and Random can sell it to a bunch of streamers and make this worthwhile for him. Because I think it's just looking so cool. So thank you, Random, and I want to throw money at it. And so the same with Shannon, because I'm sure Shannon will be utilizing you for some cards as well. So yeah. Because the idea is I want to make sure that there's 3 different levels. You have like a worn version which matches the kind of look and feel of the new brand that we're going to be pushing, a nice mint version of the card, and then a shiny or a foil. Anyway, I'm really excited about it. Super excited about it. And it's just something that no one else is really offering in the same way that we'd be offering it. Yeah. Pioneering something cool.
Yeah. We drop some suggestions in the chat for cards you want to see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, Davian. I will pay money for a Davian. Damn Druids and Blights.
Actually, that's a really good idea. Maybe we'll open up a channel in the Discord for card suggestions.
And the question is, do you get the illustrations revealed on that channel? So people are like, oh, I hope we get that one, or are they like a complete mystery?
So what would be quite cool maybe is every time we release a new seasonal pack of cards, you do one card that just lists just the names of the cards, so you know how many are in the set and what the names of them are, just like you would get in the old bubblegum packets as well. There'd always be one card that would have that on the back.
Oh. I liked in the Garbage Pail Kids, you could assemble all the backs to make a big giant one.
So they had that, and they also had one card that had like the names of all of them in that season. So it's, something like that would be the index card. Yeah, cool. But it'll be
exciting.
Yeah, Random, you're doing an amazing job with it. So thank you so much for your hard work. Is there anything else we wanted to chat about?
I did want to bring up Fine Traps again. I'm just kidding.
I will. I will say, don't forget
PTSD in your eye.
I will say, don't forget the giveaway for the Book of Sig, The Legend of Cragnole. So, everyone in the Patreon, everyone who is subscribed will get an automatic entry. And if you want further entries, or if you're not subscribed or part of our Patreon, then do just jump into the Discord and give us one of your favorite Sig moments. But also, big thank you to our Patreon and our subscribers, George Friend, QSD, Drop Shadow, Waffles, Carlzone, Squished, our very own Joe and John, Sador and the Foolish Fool are all on the $4 a munch, heading towards our 20 fucking snacks. Sorry, 20 fucking snacks. And Twitch subscribers that are still here with us, despite us taking like almost 2 months off. You guys are fantastic. Grim Reaper, Elosigiver, Random Origins, Coolios, Terrestrial Starfish, Waffles, Carlzone, and Garman Dude. I think that's us. So you guys are awesome.
Can I just ask, is the Amazon link to Reese's book somewhere?
I did put it up in the chat, but I'll put it in the Discord as well. Yeah. Cool. All right, I think that's us. That was a good
to be back.
It is good to be back. So
yes,
I'll have a chat to all you guys in the Discord to figure out when we want to get back into Curse of Strahd, or if we want to do a origin story before we get back into that, which might take a bit more prep. We need to figure out what's next, but hopefully we'll be back into it more regularly as soon as possible. Cool. All right, thanks everybody. Thank you guys for showing up, and thanks to the chat. You guys are all awesome. Joe, are you going to see us off there?
Oh, I was really hoping. I was hoping this. Oh.
I
That was
love how
a-
much you hate it.
Quick entrance too with the car. Like, boom.
Oh, yeah, finger was on the button.
Kick in the guts.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Stay safe, everyone.